Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Powersports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy Powersports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your powersports passions. Make Energy Powersports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Ryker and Spyder, including the sporty F3S, Sea-Doo watercraft, and Switch pontoon boats, and Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy Powersports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy Powersports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, energypowersports.ca. And our fan photos are going to be brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. We got a billboard coming up for them as well. But if you don't make it to the fan photos, then make sure you go and order your studs and backers and add that toolkit to your cart. Use the coupon code SNOW, SNOW, and that toolkit's absolutely free. That's FASTTRAC.co. We'll talk more about that coming up. All right, guys, we have James below me here and Joel beside me. Welcome aboard, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
James is from the Sudbury Trail Plan, and Joel, I'm going to mess this up, so I want you to tell me what your connection is to all this OFSC stuff.
Well, I'm also from the Sudbury Trail Plan, but James and I kind of share a role that's been traditionally put together. So James is the president. I'm the governor. So as the governor, I am sort of the liaison between the district and the OFSC board. So it's kind of a fun kind of future planning sort of thing that we do, and it's really nice to work with those people in Barrie.
Excellent. Well, you know what? I just got to start by complimenting you guys. Our group ride was up there last week, and we pull in on Thursday, and you hadn't had snow in a while. There's lots of old snow there, and the Kukagami Road was a sheet of ice. The trail coming off that road was a sheet of ice, and I don't know what magic wand you guys waved that Thursday night, but Friday those trails were green. If they showed yellow, but they were beautiful trails, beautiful conditions. We actually had 5 people come in from Wisconsin, and you blew them away. Awesome. So good work.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary. That's and you know what? The magic wand was the night before, Wednesday, when it went from the FedEx guy stuck in my driveway in a foot of slushy snow to instant ice. And I think that's what saved us, thankfully, right? Because that freezing made all the difference. So.
Oh, for sure. Now, do you chew up the ice? Is that what you do when you, like, we had a 4 or 5 centimeters or a couple inches of fresh snow that night, but how do you deal with that from a grooming standpoint?
They do try to chew up the ice. A lot of times you try to get ahead of it and actually lay it flat while it's somewhat wet, so that instant freeze happens and it's flat. But you can chew it up with the groomers, with the drags, right? You can get in there and cut it pretty good. A lot of the areas didn't, and I think it just happened to be that it worked so well between the grooming and just the type of snow we got that fell on top of that, and it bonded a little bit, and it made all the difference in the world. Because I know, like I said, even my driveway, usually it's a sheet of ice and we can't even get up the driveway with a sled, never mind a car, right? So we were able to get out the next morning, no problem. So
yeah. That week was a perfect storm, and I got to give a shout out to James, because he came to the executive on Monday and said, "Man, should we close the trails? Like, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a nightmare, and then if we want to save this thing, we got to get through it without destroying the base." So he says, "Should we close the trails?" And I don't know. That's a big move, but okay, Mr. President, let's go ahead. So, but we had a perfect setup of, we were able to make it flat on Monday, Tuesday. It rained Wednesday, and then it got cold on Thursday, and it was just perfect. And all of the feedback we've gotten since has been so phenomenal. Like everybody we talked to about, we're closing the trails, but it's only for 2 days to get through this storm. Everybody was super supportive. So very thankful for that.
I thought there was going to be bad feedback on that closing the trails, right? You saw around us, it was green and yellow, and we were the only ones red, right? And I thought, oh no, here comes Facebook, right? Like I'm going to be tormented over this one. So,
well, you had that Corey Brock guy messaging you like every 15 minutes, didn't you?
We did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I put him up to that too.
That's okay. Anytime. If you're on Facebook, you're talking to either him or I. So
yeah. Monday, we did the show, and the trails are green, and then Monday night they went yellow, and then Tuesday they went red. And do you think my phone blew up?
Where are you bringing us, and what are we going to be in for? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I told people don't look. You know what I mean? It's best not to look.
Yeah. And cross your fingers and hope for the best. It's all we can all do, right? So.
Yeah, and I won't tell you what Wisco Sledhead said, but he said it's almost like looking at something else, a part of the female anatomy, and you just can't look.
We probably had 30 messages on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday about like what's going on, what's the plan, and we were really upfront with people. If you just contact us, tell you what the plan is, this is what we think is going to happen, but we can't obviously make promises. So we just got lucky that things worked out and we survived.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, let's see who's in the chat. Speaking of that, like Mark Bowe says, I love it. Sudbury rocks. I know Sudbury is one of his favorite places to ride.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wisco Sledhead says, "What's up, fellas?" He's got a watch party tonight here with Sled Chick 96 and Side Chick 99, and he gets us a laughing emoji. And then Jacob Massart says, "You mean pretty eyes?" LLL hat, but it's hashtag sexy eyes, and they're laughing. I don't know why they're calling me sexy eyes. You're going to see more of this. That's why I kind of put my glasses on. When I originally did the warm up, it was, I didn't have my glasses. I had my contacts in. So maybe that's why they're calling me sexy eyes. But, Rob Reiner, he's in the house. Throwing Sparks says, good evening everywhere from Presqu'île, Maine. Glad your Sudbury trip was a success. That's awesome. Throwing Sparks is hoping we get a trip next year for sure. Watching Mike G's videos. Yeah, check out Mike Gulitz. He's got an awesome video there already out on the trip, and I'm working on my first one for this week, and we'll get there. Yeah, so it'll be pretty cool. Rob the Oil Guy's in the house. He says, good evening, everybody. And again, thank you, Rob. You know what Rob the Oil Guy did? Amsoil. He sponsored our first drink, and he bought a whole round for everybody. Love it. If you need Amsoil, go to Rob, the Oil Guy.
Cool.
Rob Hilditch, he's in the chat. He's awesome. Much appreciated. Everybody loved it. So that was great. Mike Gooley's in the house. He says, hey, guys, just fly low Renegade X. He was on the trip. Anthony Palermo, he didn't get on the trip. He wanted on the trip. He says, what's up, guy? Hope you had a good weekend. And, Pro Polaris Rob, he was there as well. Good stormy evening, everybody. Just don't want to miss anybody. Skidoo $600 says, hey, guys. What else? We got Corey Brock's in there, and he's owning the wrench tonight. So be on your best behavior. He says, what's going on? William McCleary in there. He's got to get over to Sudbury with the sled. He does. And Sled 519's heading up there this week. So that's good. Brian Lynn says his Lynx is still in sick bay. That's not.
Oh, no.
I told you, Brian Lynn, what you got to do. You got to trade that Lynx in on an XRS 850 with Smart Shocks. And Energy Powersports is just the guy to help you out with that. And here he is right here, live from his mobile studio. John Luke, how are you?
Oh, Gary, I'm good. I'm stuck in traffic in the middle of this quasi snowstorm. I don't know. I don't get why people panic over the few centimeters we're getting right now. But nonetheless, I found a spot where I could just park and get on. So I apologize for not being in my own regular studio, but I had some other things I had to do tonight. So yeah, here I am.
No problem. No problem. So you had a busy week last week as well. You had the Ski-Doo launch and Can-Am launch. How did that go?
Oh man, so we're all the dealers globally. We're in Houston, Texas, and some of you may think, why Houston, Texas? Well, it was also part of the launch for Can-Am Off-Road, some new Outlanders that came out, which are super exciting. I gotta tell you, we got a chance to ride them. Didn't get a chance to ride the Ski-Doos or the Lynx, unfortunately, but we got a really good taste for some of the new colors and options and things as such. It was a really, really good show, super well attended, lots of dealers there. So we landed on Monday on Family Day. That's why I could not be with you as well for that event. It looked really fun though, so that was cool. But so we landed on Family Day, and in the evening is when they do the big launch upon our arrival. So they kick it off with a real big show and basically share with all the dealers all the new stuff coming out for 2024, in this case for the next year. And so they did that for Lynx and Ski-Doo. And I got to tell you, like, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again, and I say it often. This company, BRP, is pushing the envelope on innovations. It's always new stuff, pushing the limits. And of course, we got finally what everyone is at hope for is, can we get a turbo sled for the trails this time? The guys out west got their really nice turbo. Can we get one? And so we did. And so super excited. It's a beautiful machine. And word from some of the ambassadors who had a chance to try it, it's spectacular. It's quite fast. So it'll be interesting. I'm personally not going to demo one, but I'm excited about the vehicle. We only got a very limited amount, so each dealer only got a few. So if anyone out there is looking, I think by now pretty safe to say they're all sold, unfortunately, because they went like hotcakes. We were at the show, and I guess it was live on Facebook maybe a half hour later, and our phones started to ring like crazy. We were getting texts from customers, you got to save me one, I think within the first 7-8 minutes we're sold out. It was done. We did not even know, because we did not know exactly how many we were going to get, so we put some people on hold. But yeah, free ride now, getting a turbo for the folks out west. Of course, everything is changing to the Gen 5 platform, which I know, Gary, you really like.
Yeah.
So that's all shifting there. Yeah.
I love that. You know what? I think that the 900R looks amazing in the Gen 5.
It really does. Yeah, and of course there's this change between MXZ, right, and Renegade. Renegade is taking down a 900 Ace and become primarily a 137 4-stroke, where the MXZ now will have the choice of a 129 or 137, but being that pure trail, a two-stroke sled. So yeah, and the cars are great. Again, there's never any questions about that. Ski-Doo does a really good job at keeping it fresh, keeping it different. Lynx primarily staying in the red color tones, but adding some black and giving us a little bit, few more models again, which is really great. There's some models that unfortunately I would have loved to see for Canada and the US, but those will not make it. But that could be for years to come. And of course, one of the big news were these electric Ski-Doo, which are beautiful, like all in white like this. They look Arctic white Ski-Doos and Lynx. And although those will not be available, and we get this question every day right now, can I buy one? Can I spring check one? You can't. Those will be lent or sold, I guess, to operators, the Uncharted Society operators. Yeah. So for, it will really give us a really good sense for how they run and a good test, if you will. So in 2024, consumers will be able to try them and get a feel for it. But those people who had tried them were like, you won't believe how quiet it is, how powerful it still is, because it's an EV, right? So we all know when you have an electric vehicle, the power is immediate, the torque is there.
Yeah, that's cool. What is your favorite thing that's being launched in for the model year 2024.
Oh wow! So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt the Turbo Trail MXZ XRS is huge on the list. There's so few of them, unfortunately, that just, it's my favorite, but it won't be because I won't be able to get a chance to ride it. And I don't think, frankly, I could appreciate it to the people the likes of Gary Porter, Corey Brock, a few people like that. I couldn't open it up as wide as you guys would, or a Neil Owen perhaps. But certainly, like the vehicle looks spectacular. It is really, really good looking. But the performance, when you read about them, it just it's over the top. So that is one favorite of mine. I'm a big Lynx guy. I've said it before. When it came out, I fell in love. The Rave is still one of my favorite sleds, and it's getting a different gauge. I love that gauge. You've loved that gauge, Gary.
I love them. And on the Lynx, it's got 3 headlights on the Rave now, and it's got these little marker lights that are on the side of the the side of the hood. Oh,
yeah.
That thing.
I was waiting for the 900R in the new platform, and I would assign like that on an X Terrain, but next year, and maybe not red.
Yeah, I think you'll see. I mean, it's difficult to say, but they wanted Lynx to have its own identity, and have done a great job in choosing it in red only at the beginning. I thought that was very, very smart. But I think you'll see some different things. One of my, obviously there's a bunch of different sleds, and they're awesome. I love the Summit in orange and black. It's really badass looking. Frankly, it looks like a mean machine. And it's still on my bucket list to go out west and ride with some of these guys like CKMP. I'd love to do that trip. So hopefully, maybe next year. I don't know. I've not sledded much this year due to conditions, but also time. It's been very, very, very difficult because I got some important stuff at home. And but one of the probably my the big thing for me, what I took away from club was the new Advex helmet.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Oh my God. I would tell you, I'm blown away by that helmet. Blown away. It takes oxygen. It's not an oxygen helmet. It's a redesign, but it takes so many good properties of oxygen helmets that makes it so great, and elevates it in a really, really sporty jet fighter pilot style helmet. But it adds a bunch of cool other features, like the audio that's built in. And it can mesh with Senna and other devices like Uclear and all that. It's got a light that's built into the side, all our optional features, but it's and it just looks damn good. It looks really, really sporty, which I like that. I like that quite a bit, So that was a really, really nice surprise. The various colors they come in. So I just, I hear again, BRP innovating even more, pushing the limits. The dealers, I think, were pleasantly surprised at all the new innovations, and of course, there's always that little, but wait, we got more coming, and you could just tell there's more stuff coming, and they're not going to stop. It's an idea machine. It's an idea box. They just put out such good product and so much fun. So we came back super late on Thursday, extremely tired from 4 days of meetings and getting wrapping our head around the new product. And I want to say this to all the people out there who are who are kind of considering a spring check for 24. There's a few key dates coming up. Of course, the spring check season for Ski-Doo is ending on March 31st. And so if you want those specialty colors, special models, XRS, X, all those spring packages and features, you've got to get it in before that. Now, that being said, certain models are in certain limited quantities. And the availability of, for example, smart shocks and screens, that big screens, those will be gobbled up very, very quickly. And once we reach those numbers, we're out. We can still sell spring checks, but it may not have your preferred screen or shocks and suspension and such. So you have to, and the engine as well. So you've got to jump on early, and you got to do it much quicker. Don't think you're going to get an XRS Turbo on March 31st. It's not happening. It's not happening now anyway. And today's February the 27th. So we have 5 weeks left, and we've got we got to hurry up. So if you're considering, of course, but by all means, just jump on it as quickly as you can. Would be my advice. And of course, Lynx is only spring order, so you want to make sure that you lock it in.
Perfect. And when they call the energypowersports.ca through your website, or can they phone the store? What's the best way to actually get in line?
Yeah, you can do it a couple of ways. You can visit our website. Under catalog, the new models are there. But if you go under skidoo.com, you'll see all the models and the specs there. You get probably a little bit more information there, because that's the home page, the parent page. And then you can call us, talk to any of the sales representative. If your heart's set on a particular model, you don't have to come into the store. We can just take your deposit over the phone. It's only $500 that you put down. And the other really cool thing, and Skidoo's never done this before, of course, for the last 2-3 years, we've had delayed components and delayed arrival of units, which has, upset many customers. In fact, we just received some sleds today, but just in time for the snow. But what Skidoo is doing is something really cool. And they're saying, we guarantee you, we're going to deliver your sled by December 31st, or we'll give you $750 of accessories, apparel. So if it does arrive after, they're guaranteeing, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They've made massive improvements on shipping, and getting the parts and all the supply chain kind of corrected. It's getting better for sure, but over the next few months, they're hoping to accelerate that, and that just means that the consumer, in the end, particularly for Ontario, will win. Of course, the guys out west are riding earlier and deeper in the year. Same for Chicoutimi and those guys up north in Quebec and up north Ontario. But for the trail market in Ontario, having your sled for before the 31st of December is quite important.
Yeah. Coffee, water, beer. Josh Senior says that's a solid move by BRP. And Mike Goulet says he's going to call Energy Powersports in the morning and get his new 900R Turbo on order.
I'm counting on you, Mike. I'll be waiting for that call. I start around 8 o'clock. So
they're awesome. Get one.
Excellent. That's cool. Yes, you can talk to John Luke, Mike Goulet. Of course. Yes. Give him a call. He starts at 8. So you got it. Can I ask you something? I'm not sure whether you are at liberty to talk about this or if you know anything about it. There was a module that was coming out for the new 10 1/4 inch gauge that they accidentally advertised on some of the literature, and then they even mentioned it in the live feed, and then they sent out a bulletin afterwards saying, sorry, it's not available. Do you know what happened there, or are they saying anything about that?
I don't. All I can tell you is this, because I've done some of these shows, not for BRP before, but for a car manufacturer, and sometimes these things go so fast. You may think that you're ready and go to market, so to speak, and something else happens that prevents it, and it gets forgotten to take out of because a lot of these shows, presentations are done, they're canned early. They get rehearsed a week or two before, and I think it just it may not be ready to be released the way they released it. There may be something coming, but I think it's just not and a word on Widescapes. The people from Widescape were there, believe it or not. They were at the Skidoo launch.
Right on.
And so I got a chance to see the final product. It is gorgeous. It is really, really nice. The quality is way up there, way more than we thought it would be for a first year product. The vehicles are in Canada right now. So for those of you online who have pre-ordered a Widescape, these vehicles are in the country. There's some paperwork that needs to be rectified between Transport Canada and the folks at Widescape. They're very, very, very close. They know the vehicles have been delayed from what we were hoping we would get them much earlier, but they're working really hard on it. But the end result, the product, is a true delight, a real delight. Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to see that. Let us know when they come in, and we can get a first hand on that one as well. That's cool.
Well, the first item of order will be to put fuel in, and let's go.
That's right. Like the Lynx a few years ago.
Yeah, so we have 2 for energy, and that will be demos. And I would definitely want you to try it. And if others we can't really try them in our parking lot. We don't have enough snow, but it'll be great to go up north someplace and just give it a run. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. So again, energypowersports.ca or 905. What's the phone number there?
905-901-5500 or info@energypowersports.ca. Talk to Mike, JJ, Tice, Sean, Sherry, or Neil, myself, and we'll be happy to get you going. But again, remember, some models are in limited quantity, so it's only $500 you're spending right now, really, and then you got until the 31st of December to spend the rest.
That's awesome. We'll get you back on to talk more about the 2024 sleds. I'm really excited about it. I was blown away again. They dropped the microphone. It reminds me of the year they launched the Oxygen and all the innovations they come out with. So pretty exciting stuff in the pipe right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some cool features we'll talk about. I want to share with you. I'll send you some information on those signals. You know how we pass people on the trail? So they came up with a great innovation that we need to talk about. So we'll keep it for another time. But we're planning to order a lot of these things. It's an awesome feature, and I think from a safety point of view, what a smart innovation for sure.
Love it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a great
for
idea.
sure.
Yeah. All right,
Get on.
Guys,
okay, well, I'll let you get back.
enjoy.
Drive safely, John Luke. We'll be chatting with you tomorrow. So,
yeah, I love those eyes, by the way, Gary. I really like those eyes.
You're into the sexy eyes thing too, are you?
Oh, very sexy, yeah.
Apparently it's trending. Wisco's sled chicks needs to thank me for that.
Okay, I don't know that it's trending with bald heads, but that's a different story for a different day. Hey, be well. Take care.
You can't grow grass on busy streets, John Luke.
There you go. You take care,
Thank
guys.
you so much for popping in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
He's great. Yeah, he's excited. I can tell hearing him talk. He's very excited about everything happening right now. So that's very cool. Yeah. Is he? He's still there. Are you still there?
Oh, I'm just watching you now. Just put me in the back room. I'm just watching.
Okay. Do you want to stay on screen, or you just want to stay back there?
I want to be excited off screen. I am excited about what's coming up, I'll tell you. But yeah, because I think you'll see in the next few years. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's not to be excited about? The lineup is really, really cool. Great innovation. So, yeah, I'm always giddy when it comes down to club and new product. It's what our world is all about. It's about innovations and new products. So yeah, punt me out to the other side. I'll keep watching.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the electric technology?
I think it's
try it.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah. I think it's the way of the future, right? So, as much as some guys hate that, but there's some stuff that's just got to go that way. And I think where they're aimed with it, especially for the tours and all that, like I'm thinking like at Deerhurst when they have a tour, right? What better way? And there's probably a switch, slow, slower, slowest, that they can go on and slow it right down for the new rider, right? Sorry, Joel, I cut you off there. But
no, that's okay. I think there's space in the market for both ideas. And I work on EVs in the other part of my life. So this is interesting to me from that perspective, but I would love to try one, see where it goes.
Yeah. I thought because not energy, but BRP said that they were going to come up with an electric vehicle in every category by 2024. So I thought, you know what, being that the Sea-Doo was just like the e-foil board, right? Which is it's a cool product. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I thought, you know what, maybe Skidoo is going to come out with like something like the Widescape in electric for their snowmobile on snow thing. And when they come out with a Grand Touring or the Expedition or whatever it is, that fully electric, a fully functioning working snowmobile that's ready to go, stick the key in and go. Like I was blown away. I went, that's, even though it's only for the operators, like they're saying for the first rollout, it's still fully functioning. The ambassadors rode it. It's something else. So, man, like
you think of ski hills or something like that, even, right? That they sit there parked most of the time, and they could be plugged in. It's perfect, right? Like for URI, it wouldn't work at this point, but there's definitely a market there. You know what I want to see? I want to pop the hood on one. I want to see what it looks like. Where's the battery? Where is the motor going on them, right? Like how big is it? It'll be interesting to see for sure. So, you know, it's got its place coming up for sure. So,
it's very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
I'm just impressed as the market share leader for 20 years now. They've still got their foot on the gas, still innovating and new ideas.
Yeah, very cool stuff though too. Like it's like I just can't believe Smart Shocks is one of those things that I rode them spotty last year. Like I just borrowed a friend's sled. Like Corey would let me on his for a little bit, and I was floored by them. And then I rode with a guy that had them, sled 519. That's in the chat, and I was flopping around like a rag doll. And my sled was a 2022 with tunnel adjusters and the quick adjustment. Great riding sled. Don't get me wrong, but no comparison to Smart Shocks. And then this year I'm on Smart Shocks on the 23. Holy cow. Like, wow. Still, every time I ride it, and we had 3 sleds with Smart Shocks, and one was an older one without Smart Shocks. And that guy called us the Smart Shock gang. And he said, we go through turns and trash at the same speed where he's got to let off on everything. Right. And it's like, we were miles ahead of him. I had to stop and let him catch up. He's going to be in the chat soon, I think. Had to stop and let him catch up, and he was laughing the whole time at us because we weren't even aware of what we were doing. It's that good. But yeah,
keep selling them. Now I'm gonna have to go actually get a snow check, even though I wasn't going to.
Yeah, no
spring check. Yeah.
And that's saying, I got the big gauge, and I probably ordered the sled for the big gauge over the Smart Shocks. Yeah. And people will ask me, like, we ran into a guy at Rick Ward's Polaris, believe it or not, on the weekend. But we ran into a guy and we were talking about skidoos, and we were looking at it, and he had the gauge but not the shocks. And I said to him, like, the shocks are the thing. Like, I knew I was going to love them, but I didn't know I was going to love them as much as I did. Like, if you're ordering a sled, if you're on the fence with it, get it and pay the extra for Smart Shocks, because it's worth every single penny. Plus the gauge is unbelievable. Like, you see, I wear glasses and I can read the gauge just fine without my glasses on under my helmet. And I've got contacts now that I've just been trying out, so it's even better. But that big gauge for blind guys like me is the thing, you know.
Is the thing. The only thing I wish with the Smart Shocks is that even this year they offered them on a few more models. Like I got a 22 Enduro, you know, honestly mainly got it because the color was slightly not black and yellow, because they're not my favorite. But and I wish you could have got it on an Enduro or something like that, right? So maybe in the next few years they'll broaden it a little bit, or maybe bring it to Lynx and have an option on the Lynx that you can get a bigger Smart Shock on there, right? So it'll be interesting to what they do, like Jean-Luc said there, for the upcoming years, right? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jacob Masser said Smart Shocks are like riding on a cloud. 100% worth it. It's a legit piece of tech, Sled 519 says. So yeah, and Mike Gulitz is a fairly large guy, and he says, crazy, they're crazy, no more bottoming out. And I'm serious, I don't know that I ever bottomed out, but you know when you're riding along and you hit a big G out, and then it feels like you're going to flip over the handlebars, like it just goes whoop. I don't get that at all. I haven't had it once this year, and last year it would happen a lot. And it's like you feel your feet come off the footboards, and you're like, whoa. You do not like. So I think if you're significant other or someone that's fairly new to the sport, put them on Smart Shocks, and it'll definitely be a better experience all around. But you know, that's not as much to handle yourself. It does it for you, I guess. Exactly. It's amazing how fast, like, if you switch between modes, it's instant. You switch and it's already stiffer if you're going up in stiffness. And crazy. It's like, so, I mean, we were in Muskoka on the weekend, and I was trying to keep up with Corey Brock on his wife's 600 EFI, and he was putting on a clinic, but I just switched her into Sport Plus, and that thing is instantly lock. Like, it's insane. It's, yeah, I just,
Cool.
so much, can't say enough about it. I mean, this show's about you though, so let's try and keep on track here. So
well, these are the kind of real world testimonials that we need, right? So we need you guys to try things, and we'll move into it afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So James, talk to me about the size of the region that you maintain for Sudbury Trail Plan.
So we are 10 member clubs and about 1,800 kilometers of trail. The size is geographically massive because we also have Manitoulin Island, which is a massive chunk on its own, just the trails. And just from Sudbury to the far end of the trails in Manitoulin Island is about 3.5 hours drive. So groomer wise, I can't think of our exact amount of groomers, but we've got lots of them.
14, I think, is right now with
there we go.
The
14.
Wow.
Yeah. So 14 groomers, a mix of Huskies, and I think we got one trooper left. We got a couple BRs. We got one old BR in Killarney that the groomer loves it, and he says, as soon as that BR is gone, I'm gone too. Okay, we'll keep the BR then. Right? So and it's the old twin stick in the middle, eh? So
Wow.
oh yeah, and he loves it. So we just if they're happy, we're happy, right? So yeah, it's a massive region. Grooming wise, it's a logistical nightmare. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We do get complaints sometimes that the trails aren't where they should be, and we can't be everywhere at once, right? So we try our darndest, and we've also got some, as you guys might have ridden over, some waterlocked sections that we don't. We do allow groomers on ice, but that really depends on the ice conditions. And as everyone knows, this year we kind of just. No, we're staying completely away from it, right? So but it's just it is a logistical nightmare. So when you get out there and you get on a flat trail, thank our operators and our manager and the guys behind the scenes, because they go through a lot in the season, and they're all super passionate about this sport, about making flat trails for everybody to ride. So and most of them want to ride but don't even get out themselves. I was talking to one operator yesterday, and he says, I haven't even taken the sled out of storage this year. Like,
yeah.
Well, at least you got that nice warm thing to drive. So
yeah. What kind of shifts do they put in? Like, are they working a 12-hour shift, a 9-hour shift? Like, you're obviously 24/7, right?
You know what? We try not to do daytime grooming because you do need some time for the trail to set up, especially when you got massive amounts of traffic, right? That we've had this year. The shifts, anywhere. From we got some shifts that are only 4 hours to right up to closer, probably honestly near 12-16 hours on some longer runs, depending on where they're going and what they run into and how long they take, or if they get stuck. It could even go up from there. We generally try to groom between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. But that also, like I said, depending if you're doing a 16-hour run, it's kind of impossible to stay within those 12 hours, right? So we do the best we can, and the guys know the traffic patterns, so they kind of tailor to those patterns. So
yeah, great. Hey, Whitetail Stable says he has to say he enjoyed Sudbury trails more than his limited experience with riding in Quebec.
Wow,
that's a good compliment.
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah, that's a great compliment. We'll take that one. So,
we do have a lot of variety. So we'll have kind of Muskoka-ish hardwoods and twisty stuff, and then there's the logging roads up north, and so you could pretty much hit any kind of trail that you would in anywhere in Ontario, just within our region.
The actual people from Wisconsin, they were impressed with the amount of elevation change there was on your trails, and one of my favorite parts, and as corny as it sounds, your rail bed when we went to see the Bridge of Death. That ride to it is freaking.
I like that name.
that ride to it is freaking crazy. How the views from there, right?
We'd like to clarify that it's not our Bridge of Death.
Yeah.
No. So, talking about the unmentioned, unacclaimed Bridge of Death, do you think that, like, I know nobody wants to take ownership of that thing, but it's not that long across. Is it something that foreseeable future down the road that you could see the club taking it over, building sides on it, and opening that section up again, or what do you think?
I think it's there's more momentum than there was 10 years ago. I'll tell you that. And our neighboring district 11 is working with the landowner and some kind of trail organization to because they do use some of their old train bridges going towards North Bay. It's not impossible. It's a matter of dollars. It's a matter of engineering study. The bridge is 100 years old. And getting it to some sort of a spec and it would be fine. But there's that, and then there's landowner permission, and how do you come up with an agreement? And I'm told that ownership is in a bit of a limbo at that bridge right now. So it's not impossible. It's not something we've chosen to tackle just yet. But I think if you want to ride the bridge, come on out and volunteer for the Sudbury Trail Plan.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the ownership isn't there. We might be able to pick it up for $1. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
Would you want it?
Gary, Giver, it's yours for $1. We'll sell it. You can own it. You get the liability. It's all yours. So.
No. I'm good. I'm good as it is. But you know what? Like if you look at, say, the French River Bridge, like that's a lot longer of a span. It's higher over the water. I mean, it's not 100 years old though, but you look at that, like that was a government grant that came in. I guess the timing was right on that one. True too, right? But when I looked at the bridge we were standing there and I flew my drone around it and it was like, it's not too, like really the French River Bridge is a lot more scary than that thing is. Yeah. And we were over some other bridges in other areas that were, ramshackle like that. They put a base down, they put some rails up and have at her, right? So I hope
there's been discussions about the whole bridge and also about and actually I think it was probably from your drone or who was the guy that was with you, Mike. I saw his video, Ghoulies, and you could see it. And if you look just to the north of there's been discussions about instead going down the hill and putting a smaller bridge over the narrowest part there and coming back up. You wouldn't have quite the views, but you'd also have a newer bridge, right? So unfortunately, even with French River and Pickerel Bridge, the bridge was expensive to start with, and then the year-to-year maintenance is astronomical. But it's in discussion. We've talked about it, and we hear from many people about it because it would be a cool experience. So
it would be neat to open it like. Yeah, build a new bridge that's lower and in a less wide part of the river, but to ride over that original bridge, there's a bit of nostalgia to it. Hopefully you can make it work. I'd love to be part of a fundraising process if you ever getting that.
Good to know.
Like kick it off with snowmobile sessions. And I know you could get Vince from Beavertail Toys. That bridge he loves that. Like he's got a really good video on riding across that on the links last year. But it's keep that discussion open and keep me informed on how that goes. And
was that your first time seeing the bridge, Gary, or have you been there before?
Well, I've seen it on videos. That's my first time standing at the edge of it. Yeah.
So I've been over it, and I'm sure we all have from around here, right? And it is a view for sure. I wasn't over it on a sled. I was on my quad at the time, but it's just an amazing view, right? And it just goes on forever. So it would be neat. So we'll definitely keep you in the loop if we hear anything and can do anything with it. So
yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Cool. Sorry to get sidetracked there. And
no worries. No. That's what people come here to see is stuff like, right? You like you said, the rail bed and parts of the rail bed are up nice and high, right? And you look down and there's lakes on one side, you got the mining head frame on the other side, you got then all of a sudden you're through that rail bed coming around the corner and boom, there's a nice tunnel there, right? That you're
that tunnel is cool.
Yeah. So like Joel said, we've got just such a variety here, right? That it's neat to ride. And at some point, you guys should come back up and we'll do one of the years that the Little Current to Killarney across the Big Water is open, because that's an experience too. It's just you're traveling across the North Channel for, it depends on how fast you're going, but it's a long time and it's a lot of kilometers, but it's just neat to say you've done it, right? So
nice. That'd be great. Well, speaking of attractions, like you've got that bridge, and Wisco Sledhead said that was on his bucket list. Glad to see it. Can you imagine taking people to a destination you can't cross.
Yeah.
and they love it. But and then we took them to Wolf Lookout, which is behind you there, and that's like a 1,400 foot elevation. So they were blown away by that. Like what else is there to see? Like, what did we miss?
What did you? Well, like I said, one of is the crossing Little Current to Killarney. That's a cool going across the big water right across Georgian Bay. What else is on the list there, Joel? I'm trying to think here.
There's a ice caves by Espanola. That's really cool. So it's sort of like the ones. Isn't there ice caves in Kearney or something like that?
Yeah, there's Kearney.
And there's one spot I really like, and I hesitate to tell people about this, but there's a trail south of Espanola. It takes you through like this wintering area for deer.
Yeah,
you can see 30 or 40 deer within 5 kilometers, and it's through these great big mountains and steep bridges and stuff. And that's my favorite trail to ride in all of the district.
Through the LaCloche Mountains there, right south to us, Little Current. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, neat little ride through there. So
you called what? Sorry, I cut you off. What mountains?
LaCloche Mountains.
LaCloche Mountains. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yeah, look them up. They're very old mountains, I'm told.
Yeah. Wisco Side Chick says she thinks the Wolf Lookout is probably her favorite view. So
here's the crazy thing about that. My dad once drove a cement truck up that lookout, past it to pour. There's an antenna in the background there during the day, during the summer, and to pour concrete up there. Drove a full cement truck. They've actually got little strips of cement to get up there in the summer so that you can drive right up there. So it's a beautiful
dad.
Yeah. Big old cement truck in the 90s of some point, drove right up there.
Wow.
I said, I bet you the up wasn't bad. It's the down that would have been scary. So
yeah, right. You better hope your brakes are working, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
They would have heard the Jake brake going the whole all the way
right
through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
the funniest thing I ever heard about the Wolf Lookout there is we had Larry Barrio on the show. You guys know Larry Barrio, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Vince from Beavertail Toys, who I know you love because you're wearing his shirt.
Yeah.
Vince says, legend has it that on a full moon, you can hear Larry Barrio on the Wolf Lookout.
Straight over Wanapate from his summer concert that's still reverberating off the mountains.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty cool.
That's a good one.
Mark Bowe says the Moose Loop is amazing over to Windy Lake.
Yeah.
That's my home club
section. Yeah. That's where Joel's from, his stomping ground, and that north of Cartier, back in between Cartier and Gabriel, is just a beautiful section though, over the river and nice open. Flying down, you know what I mean? It's that's the thing. If people ask that all the time about Sudbury, what's there to see? What's the big attraction? The attraction's the trails. There's not like a one spot here, one spot there. It's the whole thing. It's all the big, it's all of it combined. That it's just such a beauty. The mix of trails and the area, and sometimes you'll come across one that you think is nothing, and then you get over the bridge and you're like, oh, that's really nice to see. You know what I mean? So it's It's just like Joel said, the mix.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Somebody commented on one of my Instagram posts I made of it, and they said that, and I didn't even think about this, but it was so insightful, is that you drive for 50 miles before you see a stop sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you drive for there is no stop signs. It's like it's flowing and up and down, and there's everything. There's corners. It's not like a Cochrane where it's straight. It's amazing corners. It's Wisco Side Chick said that was her favorite kind of riding. She had an Indy XCR 650 and just loved it because it was like fast, flowy corners. She could rail everything, and away you go. Yeah. So,
and it is that. And I've got 2 sleds. I got a 2017 Switchback Assault 600, and for around here, that's the greatest. You can come over and you come over those hills, and your skis stay planted all the time to come nicely over those hills and perfectly down. And it's just set up to go fast and not straight necessarily. So
yeah, you can do 49 kilometers an hour all day long.
Perfectly.
It's just amazing. Like they're just so set up for it, you know?
Yeah.
Good grooming
exactly.
and fast and flowy, and you know, it's and I think like somebody's speedo was wrong, because she said I clock her doing 145 and it's like, no, it must have been 45.
That one must have been just a screen.
It was I told her to go get the screen check, because you know, anyway, but yeah
exactly.
So, but Mark Bow says 49. Yep. No, it's such a great area to ride, and I mean, it's the scenery is really cool, and I laugh because we're riding along a rail bed, and you think this should be the most boring ride, and you're looking around. And thank God it was straight, because you're looking around so much that it's like, wow, look at that. We're on comms, so when my video comes out, you're going to hear it. Look at that lake. Look at this. Look at that mountain. Wow, it's super stacked. It's like Larry Barrio.
Well, we've been such a well-kept secret for so long. I mean, everybody goes, you know, like growing up, we all rode Muskoka because that's where you would go. And so, but everybody would go to Muskoka, everybody would go to Perry Sound. And then if you really were adventurous, you'd go to Cochrane, but nobody ever came here. And I think the word is getting out that we've got a really good experience to provide here. And the drive is honestly nicer than it's ever been. So, I mean, we're only, you know, 3.5 hours from the GTA, and it's all nice highway. So it's really presented us with some challenges that we never had. I mean, when I got involved with this sport, it was probably 2003, and it was just local traffic. So you could get away with grooming once a week. And so at some point that changed. And so we're having to adapt to, you know, increased traffic, and I mean, businesses are happy, you know, we're getting increased revenues. So it's really something that we've had to adapt to, but it's not a bad thing.
Is your club healthy for volunteers? Or you always, of course you're always looking, but are you set up pretty good right now?
For the most part. So out of our 10 clubs, I would say 8 of them are in really, really good shape. And that's a credit to, you know, people getting out and using Facebook and really recruiting and younger people. As soon as you get, you know, a younger volunteer, 2 or 3 of them come with them. So that's really the key, is starting that culture of let's all work together and work towards a common good. Because we've all seen, you know, clubs where it's sort of an old boys club, and you know, we don't want anybody else to come in our little club, right? And that's how. But those are the same clubs that say we need more volunteers. Well, if you aren't accepting new volunteers, then how can you know, find them a place to be? So
yeah. No, that's good. Well, no, I just you blow me away, and it's and like you said, it is probably getting to be more of a well-known secret, but it is probably the best kept secret right now in Ontario.
We're gonna get in trouble for this.
It takes us no time to get up there. For us, like I'm near Kitchener, Cambridge area, and it takes us no time to get up there. And it's well worth it once you do. And then your accommodations, you have a lot of great places like the Sportsman's Lodge, like that. That place is a hidden gem, and in town there's a lot of places right near the trail. The only one negative thing I can say, if there is anything negative to point out, and I don't even know how you address something like this, but the fuel and the food stops during the weekend are the tough parts, right? Like, you know, it's tough to find. It's tough to find food. Like if you want to sit down at a restaurant, I think in the one area we went, there was only 2 open. When we went to Capriol, the place didn't open until 4, and we had to go back for dinner at 6:30. We had 25 sleds lined up in the parking lot at 3:00, phoning them. And then we decided we were going to pull the pin. We weren't going to wait. And we drove away while the one kid was getting let off for work. And they must have just sunk. Their heart must have sunk, you know? Yeah.
That was an oddball, just so you know, too, because the one area off of Wanapate has been closed for a little while, and they just recently opened back up, which used to be known as Rockies and is now Hiawatha's. And actually, I went to Firehouse in Capreol there to go have lunch. I love it there. And we walked in and walked out because they said, it'd be an hour and a half to 2 hours for food. And I'm like, well, going to Subway then, and it was just a bad timing thing where hopefully now that they're kind of splitting the business, they should be able to accommodate a little bit more. But again, it comes all back to what Joel said. We this traffic has just been insane. When you look at the map, and we were the only green anywhere south of us was red or slight yellow, very little. It just overwhelmed the places, right? And that's totally it. And the fuel's not so bad if you know where to go. That's the thing, right? So it's
we were in a big group, so we're kind of the bullies, right? I said we were the hell snow angels. We rolled in. Yeah. I mean, we were quieter than a Harley, but we rolled in and we owned the place, and it was kind of cool. And like I said, we ran a gas station. I think I said it before. We pull in and it's like the guy goes, "All you guys need fuel?" And we're going, we're right out. And then he goes, "I don't know whether I can finish all of it." So we just lined up and started going. And I practiced my butting and line skills, and I'm very good at it still.
That's when you start selling your link can for double the price, eh? Yeah.
And they got through all of our sleds, and there was about 8 other people had randomly showed up behind us. And the guy goes to them, "I might get 2 or 3 of you. I'm not going to get all of you, so I'm sorry, but we're out of gas." It's Mark Kramer wants to know what club manages the D Trail over at Espanola. It's a great trail and great place to go for lunch.
The Snow Runners,
I was going to say, it kind of meets depending where you're talking, but so there is an Espanola club and the Walden Snow Runners also, where they just had their barbecue there. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I think that they had their barbecue on the D Trail towards Espanola. So
I see one of our favorite volunteers here, Christy Carson, is one of our favorite people in the whole world. So
she's awesome. I met her on the trail for the first time on the Saturday. It was cool. Hiawatha was good for a Friday for food and fuel, but we hit mid-afternoon. I'm glad you like her because she actually sent me in late photos, at 5 o'clock late photos I'm talking about. It said, "I hope it's not too late." And I'm going like, she's lucky she complimented me and said how much she loves my channel, because I wouldn't have put her in the mix if
it wasn't your eyes. It wasn't your eyes she complimented.
Maybe it was. Maybe she started the whole sexy eyes thing, right? So, but that's cool. We should probably get into fan photos. We've got a ton of them. We can keep the conversation going though. But do you guys want to see some? Do you guys want to see some fan photos?
Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Energy Powersports, they won District Dealer of the Year. They've got 6 major awards from BRP in just 4 years. So that's a good point. I will reiterate that again. But good point. Here, I'm gonna roll the thing here with Fast Track, and then we'll get to the fan photos, and they're awesome tonight. So stay tuned.
Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my idle wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless, so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against braking. Each kit comes with a track specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co.
All right, there we go. Did you see that one drone shot I took in there?
I was gonna say, I know where that is. I know where I saw that. I went, that can only be Sudbury. Like
it is totally.
Yeah,
we drove
that's
that.
awesome.
We rode that last year. It was a year ago, Family Day weekend. We rode it on the Sunday. We were coming home on the Monday. I didn't have my drone with me because it was really snowy that day. And then we woke up on Monday morning and everybody was heading home. And I was like to Drew, let's just take a quick rip back out to the power lines and drone this. It was sunny, but it was cold. So we went out there and we got some great footage. So
that was awesome footage. Yeah, that looked like you were almost the first tracks there too.
Yeah, we were. And you know what? I put in that video, so it's a year ago, Sudbury, I put Larry Berrio's What a Ride over top of that.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. He actually reached out to me and said, thank you for sharing my music and blah, blah, blah. And he gets all the ad revenue from it. I don't. So
exactly.
I took the copyright strike for him and him only. So, but I just wanted to reiterate, like, the Sportsman Lodge, good God, what an experience. Jim, he was amazing. I highly recommend you call him, 705-853-4434. What a great spot. He exceeded our expectation, blew us away, and it was way better than what I thought it could ever end up. And I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. And stay tuned for that. And but yeah, Jim has an amazing place there and amazing staff. And we had a great group as well. And I enjoyed meeting everybody and hanging out and finally I've met a few of the people before, but just to hang out and get sloppy at night with them and it was a lot of fun, and what a great spot to do it. So,
and there's not a better spot. Exactly what you're saying. There's not, like, with the atmosphere and the outside, and you can be outside, you can be inside, you can it's awesome there. Call Jim.
Yeah,
for sure. He'll set you up. You can't be in a better place. So
no, that was, and the price is crazy. That for what you get, it's just insane. He pulls this. He's got this Tundra, and I think there's a picture coming up. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I better tell the story just in case. But he, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see photos of this. But we were riding, and it was a beautiful day. It was like this day that Christy Carson posted this picture here of. Could have been this day for all intents and matters, because I did meet her that day. Beautiful bluebird day. We go. I said the last year we went, we seen a lot of moose at night in Sudbury. Right? You go snowmobiling, they're on the trail. You can go up and pet them. If they're small, you can hop up in the back and ride them. I don't suggest going near the moose and stay. If you do see one on the trail, stay back. They're not as cute as they look. But anyway, you see moose. So we're riding along and I said to Drew and the other people on the comms, hey, you know what? Let's stay off the beer at dinner. And we'll go up for a good night ride. We'll get everybody in the group that wants to go for a night ride. Just no alcohol. Let's do it tonight, right? And we pull in, and Jim's got the Tundra with the fire pit out, and there's a whole gang of our group around there, brown pops in hand. And I just said to Drew, well, I guess the night ride's off the table.
Yeah, exactly. Guess we're SOL on that one, right? So
so we didn't get out night riding at all, because every night you pull in, and that bugger, he does it on purpose. He's got the fire table out, the fire pit out, and and it's just too good of an ambiance. And I mean, it's right out of a beer commercial, man. Like, if a beer company's watching and they want to make an epic beer commercial, go see Jim and hang out there for a weekend. You've got you've got it all in the making. It's nice, and I mean that was one of my fears, is that doing a group ride like that, you might not get some of the people being responsible, and everybody was really good. There was not one. Once we got back, those sleds did not get started. It was just. That's
awesome.
So I thank everybody for that.
Yeah. Enjoy responsibly. That's all we ask, right? That's everybody likes to go home and have a couple of pops, but don't go back out after that. Just Pick one or the other for a night.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the thing is, we rode so hard all day. We were all sleeping on the couch by 8:30. So now, Christy didn't give me any. The Wisco side chick says the only Canadian animal she saw was a squirrel. Wisco Sledhead said he didn't see a moose. Can he get a refund? I think James will give you a refund. Just send him your receipts.
Yeah. Send me the address and I'll make sure you get a big refund on that for sure. Although you can south of Sudbury, you can see elk on the trail even sometimes. So
you can, pardon me?
You can see elk on the trail.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So they repopulated some elk down that way, and every now and then you run across them on the trail. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
So yeah.
So is this your area? Christy didn't give me a story with her pictures. So
I'm trying. It looks like one of about 600 lakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't recognize that sign that's out in the middle of the lake?
Oh, that one. Yeah,
yes.
That's it. Yeah. There we
go.
We
know where
that
this
one
is.
I could see that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, for the people at home that weren't listening before, where is this?
That'd be our Wolf Mountain lookout. So
that's
a view up there, and you can walk a little bit, and you can see even further out, and obviously that's a clear day because you can see far on that day, and that's such a beautiful view there. So
we're working on a couple of other ones there that are going to be.
Are you right? Well, that's the thing. We're driving to it. Well, the first day we blew right past it on the Friday, and then it's like, I said, I think that was the corner way back there. No, it wasn't. That's a dead end. And I go, okay, look to me like it was. Well, it was, but that was probably this day that we missed it. But you can see it looks like she's the only track up there. But yeah, it's like when you're riding there, it's like there could be a lookout there. We could just climb up there and have a boo. So.
And that's the thing with the fire roads and the logging roads, right? You see the cuts sometimes, and you think, oh, let me just go in there, and but you don't realize how deep the snow is till you head off that trail for about 10 feet and go over your handlebars in snow. So
no, that's right. That's cool. What's the legend of the lookout? Is there a story behind it? Like, is there a tale or a fable, or besides the Larry thing? No,
I haven't heard anything, but you know what? Now that you've asked that, I'm going to find out and see if we can see if there is something behind it. We'll go to the top and call Larry's name and see if he knows the see if he comes sledding up and whether there's a tale there that we could find out. But I'm definitely going to look into that for you there, Gary, to find out. So
yeah, well, the only ask is because when you go up to Mattawa, they've got these stories, whether they're made up or not, that
Yeah.
So it kind of needs that, Is this a zoomed in shot from the Wolf lookout?
Looks like it. Yeah. It looks like it's a nice zoomed in, and you can see how far you can see over there. That's insane. That is a clear day. You don't get that very often up there. So that's beauty.
No. That is very cool. This is a neat photo. Where's this?
That is gorgeous. Well, okay, we should say that Christy is a very accomplished photographer, so she gets she's got a bit of a style points there, but that's amazing.
I felt bad for blocking the shadow with her name, because that the shadow coming at and just catching the glimpse of the sun is pretty amazing. But you don't know where this cross is?
Nope.
Not off the top of my head. No, I feel like I've seen it before, but I can't remember where it is. And you know what? Now that you look at it, if you look in the background there, I bet you that's off of the Wolf Mountain lookout.
Oh, is it?
There's
okay?
A trail off there, yeah. And if you look at the very background there, it kind of looks like the same elevation, right? So I'm gonna guess that it's somewhere there. Probably she
That's
went.
Not off. Is that on the goat path at all? Like,
could be. Yeah, it could be. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That's a Capriol thing.
Selfie ledge.
Selfie ledge. See, I wish she gave us a story with this. I shouldn't have put her picture.
There you go. She did. She says it's at the lookout. See, that's what I thought.
Okay, perfect.
So maybe there's an even bigger tale that we don't know about if there's a cross at the lookout, right? So
maybe
I'll find out.
Rob the little guy wants to know if that's where Sasquatch lives. Renegade X says the cross is at the Wolf Lookout. So yeah,
Right.
we're on to something there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll find out for sure what it's about. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
We own the Wolf. We own the Wolf Lookout, by the way. There wasn't a spot to park sleds, and when we rolled up there, I'm telling you,
I'm sure.
The Hell Snow Angels represent. Yeah,
that's Wanapitay there.
Cool. This is that's the Hiawatha, the Loch Ness Monster, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's Wanapitay took such a long time to freeze up this year. That's a beauty to see. So
I had a lake trout out of there for dinner tonight.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Ice fishing?
Yep.
Wow. That's one thing we didn't see. Now I got to come back up.
You got lots of trails you can cover that you come back up for. So
yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I think we should probably shout out to all our landowners because at some point people think, and there's sort of a culture up here of, if it's not posted, it's okay to go. And we've really tried to change that mindset, over the last few years. But the reality is that almost all of the Sudbury Basin is private land. So it really takes a lot of legwork to get permission to all these properties. And a lot of them aren't easy landowners to deal with. They're big, mining companies and utility companies and stuff. Yeah. So they present their own challenges. And we were looking at one landowner that was, we were struggling with a few years ago, and we were going to lose 800 kilometers of trail.
Holy.
So
one landowner. So
wow.
So it's got its unique challenges, and we certainly appreciate out your way. There's many smaller landowners, we'll say, but it's a different animal, and it's fun to interact with those people and try to. For the most part, they're just willing to be good sort of corporate citizens, and they want to be supportive.
How do we as snowmobilers, maybe not even from your area, show respect to these landowners and send them our appreciation?
It's just stay on the trail. Be respectful. Don't make a mess. If there's a closed trail, just don't go. And they're very appreciative of that. They don't like to be in the spotlight, we'll say. But the reality is they own a lot of property, and we're there at their pleasure. So just be respectful and enjoy your time. And
if there's a trail that's unavailable or red, as we call it, there's usually a reason behind it, and not saying that it's anything specific from snowmobilers, but they could be doing work down there. They could be it's for a safety reason or a hazard. So like you said, just be respectful, and we've got these trails made. Let's not go crazy. If you want to find crown land, there is crown land out there. But know you're on crown land, and go there if you want, but be respectful of where we are on private property for sure.
That's the biggest thing. And a lot of times they have areas, we're in an industrial environment, so they have areas where it's really not safe for people to go. It's not just that they don't want people running over their grass. It's really a safity issue. So that's the best way to get a trail closed.
The liability and everything else. I know when I buy the Mudbrats bridge for $1, that just stay off that area until I get the work done. I'm going to be hand pounding in all of the nails myself. So just when I let these two guys know it's good to cross, we'll get you across. But until that time,
go there.
So.
You let me know, and I'll come out and nail those nails with you one at a time.
We'll smash the bottle of champagne on it like the Titanic, and
exactly. Yeah.
So here's my two favorite girls now. Well, Wisco Sled Chick and Sexy Eyes aside, but this is Amy from Kelly Shires Foundation, Christy Carson on the right here. Amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing to meet them, and I'm glad they're friends because they're both special souls. That's for sure. So thank you for reaching out for me on the trails as well, Christy. That was cool. I always love it when Corey Brock says, Porter, here's another fan. Get over here. So that was cool. But yes, thanks for sending those in, Christy. We really appreciate it. And like I said, it was awesome to meet you and your husband on the trails. That was very cool. But Anthony Palermo is a young buck from Windsor, and he sent us in some pictures. He wanted to come ride, but couldn't get room. So we'll make sure he gets him and his dad get involved next year, because it was a lot of fun. He says, hey, Gary, me and my dad went to Bancroft on the weekend, and I've never been up that way sledding before, but I'll definitely be back. Great memories were made, and the trails were mint. And you can see here some of his photos. Yeah. And he's got a sled almost like Drew's. It's almost a twin to our MXZX. He sent us in some couple.
Nice.
I love bridges. I love stopping and taking photos on bridges.
I'm the same way. Love bridges. It's a nice place to stop and take a shot. So
it is. And then here he is hanging skis and dodging trees. He's got that 600 just cranking there. So pretty cool.
Bancroft's, I'd like to go there. I haven't been there sledding, so it's on my list also. So
yeah, it's a cool place, man, and it's a snow belt as well. I haven't been in many years, but definitely I was talking to Corey on the weekend. We want to go back and check it out, and
cool.
It's pretty cool. Denon, he came up to the ride, but his buddies didn't have as good a weekend as he did, so he did a lot of solo riding. And here he is. He says, "Did he send me a note?" He didn't. He just sent me in some photos. But
Denon and I have talked a lot on Facebook. I gave him crap for not letting me know he was in the area. So maybe next time he comes up.
He was a little busy. He arrived late on the one night, and then he spent the morning working on a clutch and didn't have any luck with it. So they had to ride back to North Bay and get their truck.
Geez. Okay. Yeah, so he was busy.
Yeah. So this is his ride on the weekend. I love this old streetcar. It's pretty cool.
Where is that? I've been asked about that before, and I want to go see it at some point. So
yeah, he told me. Hold on, see if I can.
I keep going. I want to take a picture because my wife's brother is a streetcar driver, and her dad was a TTC bus driver. So I'd like to go take a picture with it one day. So
yeah, for sure. Where did he say he was? Anyway,
there you
he
go.
might be
Trail 602 south of Halliburton. Cool.
Cottage Club. There you go. Awesome. See, I forgot he was still in the chat. Awesome. I thought he had left us. Very cool. Cool. You know what would be even cooler if you sat in it and had someone take your picture.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. Oh, that's.
And then Jacob Massar, he says a great time up in Canada with fantastic people. Had some traditional food from there, and I got dumped on at home 12 inches and 5 more today. So the wife and him went for a ride with some friends to the largest grandfather clock in the world. Isn't that awesome?
That's an interesting thing to be known by, but it's crazy. It looks massive. I'd like to see the inner workings of that, because I'm sure it would look neat. So
yeah, that would be kind of cool. It says it's the Onepe State Trail or something like that on the sign. So nice. I can't really see it, but yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then that's him and the wife.
Nice.
On the sled. And that's my sled with the teeth on it.
I saw that in the video. Yeah. You know it's
so,
you, that's for sure.
Yeah. Once in a while, I mean, people mistake it for other sleds,
Yeah. It's called It's a Blur, probably, right? So
yeah. No, I'm a slow driver. Regardless of what John Luke thinks, I drive slow, as per manufacturer's recommendations.
Yeah.
So these are some shots from the Sportsman's Lodge. That's that night that we were blessed with snow.
For sure. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
There's a poutine, right? Gotta love it. Yeah. They had such a good time, and I miss them. We talked about them all weekend this weekend past, and such great people. They're it's like Canadians, They're like Canadians.
Yeah. Like everybody, welcome everybody. So
yeah. Oh, for sure. Mark Kramer, he's in the chat. He says January 30th, he was getting ready to open local trails in the Fergus and Laura Bellwood area. We had no idea how short-lived this would be. And then so there they are getting ready. And then February 1st, he says the day later, 2 days later, he says the local loop from home to Lake Conestoga with club members. That's pretty cool. Good nice. Shot there.
That's down in your area there.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. We have neat trails. We have nice trails along here, but sometimes they're open for weeks and other times they're open for days. So this year's been, maybe we had 4 or 5 days in a row. And this is February 4th ride home in a Laura 473 kilometer loop up to Creemore. I like that ride.
Oh.
Hampton, Owenstown for lunch, Chelsea, Hangover. I think he means Hanover. Mount Forest and home. Poor groomer operator was having a bad day. The woodpeckers weren't leaving much of the tree. And he's showing the groomers. That's what we use for groomers as tractors in our area.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The conversions. Yeah.
So, with the saucy or sousy track kits on them. But
exactly.
There's the woodpeckers. We have trees like that up north. They just burrow right through it. You know? So, but that was pretty cool to see for sure. There's the groomer not having a good day.
Oh, that's not a good day. No. That's
Do you drive groomers yourself, James?
I don't. So the plan is this year before the season's done to get in one. That's how I initially got started into this whole thing, to be honest. I went out and went in the small little groomer with one of the guys, and I thought, I'm going to become a groomer. And then I haven't been in one since. So, but that's the plan. I'm doing the training, which is pretty intensive, and then I'm going to go with some of the guys and just to do it on the side and have help if a guy's sick or can't make his shift or whatever. So that's my hope. So
yeah, it helps us in like leadership positions to know what they're going through on the trail.
Yeah.
So you just say, well, just go out and groom it. Well, it's sometimes not that simple. So it's good to have that experience.
One thing I think it's important to point out in your area too is there's not cell coverage in a lot of areas. So the groomers are like, it didn't really dawn on me until the one night the one groomer just headed back to the Sportsman Lodge, and then I think he went right back out again, and he came in just to get a satellite phone.
Right. Yeah.
So you're out there remote, you're in the middle of no man's land. Like it's, safety is number one priority. So you got to hand it to you guys, right?
Yeah.
We've actually got kind of quadruple redundancy when it comes to comms, because where your cell phone doesn't work, we've got two-way radios. Certain places need satellite phones, and then everybody has a spot unit. So and that's to be carried on your person. So if you get out of the groomer and you fall down and hurt yourself or whatever, you've got the emergency beacon sort of stuff. So it's really a employee safety thing, and knock on wood, it's been going well, but you definitely have to have different provisions up here. And even for guys that are coming up or riders that are coming up, it, like you mentioned earlier, you're 40, 50 kilometers between stop signs. There's not necessarily going to be a warm place to go into if you get into trouble. So just really be prepared, have an emergency kit with you, fire starting stuff, be prepared to spend the night if you have to. And we'll be there to get you, but it might be a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably tell people your routes and where you're at. And
exactly.
That's where the spot beacon comes in too, right?
Yeah. It's you can ride around all the little towns and stay within towns, but then you can go north and you can be in the middle of nowhere, and it's all within 50 kilometers or so, right? So it changes quickly up here. You really hit that. We're really where you become true north, is what I say, right? And where there's nobody around, and hope that somebody can find you, or that you see somebody on the trail if something happens. So we're a lot of times guys will say, I'm going to go for a solo ride around here, and I'm like, that's probably not the best place to go for a solo ride. Like, get a buddy, or at least tell somebody where you're going and when you'll be there. So
yeah. No, that's right. No, it's cool. You have to do utmost respect to your groomer operators. They're doing a hell of a good job, and it's you have to paint that picture to let people realize how remote and wilderness it actually is, because it's not a walk in the park, right? It's not like down here where the groomer will get stuck or breaks down, you can walk to a farmhouse 50 feet away and knock on the door and you have a warm cup of cocoa in your hand, right? Yeah.
I think a lot of us keep our sleds in the trailer ready to go at a moment's notice, because we've so often been called and said, can you go get this groomer out of there? The groomer's stuck or the groomer's broke down, and the guys literally lit a fire beside the trail to try and stay warm till you get there. So get going, you know? So it's definitely different. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. We talk about the trails and the stop signs and stuff. And there seems to be a lot of, like, we talked about working with your landowners and things of that nature. There seems to be, when you get into the city area more, there's a lot of dead end trails right now. Is that something that is just happened, or has that always been the case? And what are you doing to work around that?
It has just happened within the last, I would say, probably 5 years in a lot of cases. We've had certain landowners that have asked for certain insurance provisions that we can't provide. Of course, we're always working around it. There is one trail that I'm thinking of right now, the Sea Trail, and we've got something hopefully worked on. We're just waiting for permits to come through. There's some in town that are where the trail was put back in a different spot that can't necessarily connect, but the landowner was good enough to let us go back on their land, just in a different area. So we're always working on it. We're always working with the clubs to try and put these connections back into place. But, and we're thankful for the people that do allow us access, but sometimes it doesn't always work and we can't necessarily have a connection directly. There is a way around, as most people have probably seen on Facebook and a lot of them, but we're always working on it, and it's a juggling game, as Joel knows. It's, you get one that gets fixed, and all of a sudden the next one you're waiting for a new landowner or somebody decides to pull access, right? So
and that's really a credit to our clubs, because they're always working on finding reroutes, and there's some clubs that are busier than others in that regard, but I see some comments about Garson. That's one that's definitely something we've been struggling with, and we're working on it. It really boils down to, we wouldn't have lost the original trail, if everybody would have stayed on the thing. And that's really the message that we can send people is if we want to keep the trails that we have and maybe even get some new ones, let's just be respectful and be kind, and leave the brap can at home if you can, please. And we'll just get to enjoy our trails even more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's important. And actually, you know what? Saying that, I'm hearing less and less modified exhausts and cans this year, especially. Mm-hmm. Used to hear it all the time, where you actually get passed by someone on the trail, like you're stopped and they go by. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that this year. So yeah. So
and knocking on 40, I look at those guys and I say, man, I can't believe I used to like that noise.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. This is Simon Collins. He's a new friend and he's a fan, and we were at the Red Canoe in Kearney having lunch, and his wife come up to me and said, "Hey, do you have a podcast?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "My husband, he just walked past me. He loves it." And then I went, "Well, where is he?" And he come back and he said, "I'm Simon," and blah, blah, blah. And I said, "You know what, Simon?" He said, "Show me your CNA." And I gave him a hat. And, and you know what? So CNA Speeds was on the show a week before I went to the lodge sessions, and Mike Gulitz won a hat, which I actually have here, a hat and a sticker for him. So I'll make sure I get that to him next time we ride. And they sent me a few more hats that I could use as prizes at the lodge sessions, and they didn't arrive till last week, so I missed it. And so I threw them in my saddlebag. I put a post on Instagram and Facebook. You see me on the trails, flag me down, ask me to show me my CNA, and I will give you a hat. And
nice.
And I gave away a few hats on the weekend, so it was really cool. And cool. Simon was the first one. Yeah, and it was fun. I'm going to do that again, man.
Yeah.
And and I've got a couple hats left, so I'm going to keep going on this. And so if I'm out and about this weekend, make sure you stop me and ask to see my CNA, and I'll get you a hat. And so Simon's wife actually runs CNAs, and he's gonna on his sled. But so we had a great hoot. He's got a summit on the trail and sent us some pictures. And then this is another hat that I gave away, and this is outside of Rick Ward's Polaris. And
Rick Ward's.
This guy was having
I recognize that.
Yeah, this guy. There's my fan right here. He's the real Mudbrats fan. This guy right here. And these guys are just like these guys are like, who the heck's he? But he was having such a bad day. He asked to see my CNA, so I gave him a hat. And he's running CNAs too. You can see here on his sled. But he also had a heat exchanger problem, which a stud went through his heat exchanger. They weren't fast track studs. So I told him that's the first problem. and then but Rick Ward's, I got to tell you, man, they fixed him up with a screw in plug for $35.
I recognize who's in the background behind the sled there, and I honestly I forget his name, but I know Mike from Rick Ward's, and I know that guy. Like I said, I forget his name, but they're good. They're good guys there. They'll help you out if you're ever in trouble. So that's for sure. So
we popped in there a couple years ago. I've got a couple buddies that are from Huntsville, and so we popped in and they say, hey, you want to take 3 brand new Polarises out for half a day? And we said, yeah. So they gave us their own personal demos, and they said, go nuts.
I didn't get offered a demo for a day when I was in there.
Yeah. You got to know Taylor Wells.
Talking about how great our ski-doos were out in the parking lot. That's probably why.
Yeah, exactly.
I parked my ski-doo in the parking lot and took the Polaris.
They couldn't wait for me to leave. I'll tell you that.
That's commodity restrictions, Gary. You're still on hold from a COVID. So, and that's Rob from Rickward's. That's who it is behind there. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. No, that's very cool. Yeah, and Rob Overhold, he tried to stop me to get a CNA hat, but I was too fast for him. So
49 kilometers, right?
Yeah, well, he must have been only doing 45, and I was doing 49. So yeah. We'll get you next time. You hit the trails this weekend and see it. But it's pretty cool. But and then Wisco sled heads and chicks I put there. He's like Charlie's Angels. He's what's the guy from Charlie's Angels name? Boz, or whatever.
Yeah. Got them all around. Comes in with the pack.
Exactly. So they, what's he say? He says, just another weekend of Brappen. He had the pleasure to ride with Mrs. Wisco Sledheads and at Wisco Side Chick and family and friends. Still riding, no complaints, other than snowmobile manufacturers' astronomical price increases. He came up on a truck, not having a good day on our local lake, and Snowmobile Sessions takes on Wisconsin. Wait till you see the map. So here we go. There they are, the sexy eyes. Again. Yeah, you know what? But they posted that on Instagram and tagged me in it and said, this one's for Mudbrats. It made my night that night. That was Saturday, I think. So, yeah. Very cool. There they are. This is not the Wolf Lookout. This is in Wisconsin.
Very similar. Very similar. You almost at quick glance could be fooled until you start looking at the lakes in the background. So
yeah, they said that, but it's only like something like 400 feet, where yours is 1,400 feet.
Yeah.
Well,
size doesn't matter though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you see this bridge, and you can't really make out what's underneath this bridge, but this is where you shouldn't fall. Oh, where is it? I didn't wait here. You shouldn't follow your GPS. Oh, where is it?
No,
it's a pickup truck in there.
I was gonna say it looks like something sitting in the water. Yeah.
Where's the picture? I didn't get in there. Maybe it's the wrong format, but yeah, there's a pickup truck nose down in the underneath the bridge. So I think he should have been up on top, not below it.
The amount of times people follow their GPS to exactly what it says just blows me away. I do not understand. Like this. Is there no common sense left? Like,
there's not.
I know.
And I always
that's a
say
rhetorical question.
I always say it's a reason that the brake light automatically engages when you push on your brake pedal in your car. They don't make it like a signal where you have to manually turn it off and on
to do it.
I bet you Henry Ford had it as a button you press. If you're gonna slow down, press this button. And that probably lasted a day, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look closely here, Where's Waldo? You can see that in
look
Wisconsin,
at your sticker there.
That somebody's representing. I don't support people defacing public property. But in this case, I'll let it pass, you know.
It's just a small corner, right? So you're okay. Yeah, you're not blocking any good information there. So
that's right. Hey, we'll get people watching this show one follower at a time, right?
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. It's
a
public service announcement.
It is, exactly. Don't put stickers on signage unless they're my stickers. You know. Let's clean up this. Exactly. Let's clean up the trails one step at a time. So,
there we go.
Joel, you had mentioned that it used to be Sudbury Trail Plan Association, and you moved away from association, but the logo still has it on there. What was the decision to move away from association to just Trail Plan?
So we kind of rebranded. So there used to be a thing. So we're essentially District 12. We're OFSC District 12. And OFSC District 12 used to be comprised of the Sudbury Trail Plan and another organization called the Rainbow Country Snowmobile Association. And so that kind of went away about 10 years ago, and we just sort of merged everything into Sudbury Trail Plan. So we absorbed, Espanola, Manitoulin, Nairn Center. And so as part of that amalgamation, we ended up with two organizations that were essentially doing the same thing. So we just sort of legally merged the two corporations, and now we're just the Sudbury Trail Plan. So we tossed the names back and forth, and what it really came down to was everybody knows what STP is. So that's what we stuck with.
Nice. That's great. You know what? It'd be cool to take the STP logo and make a T-shirt with the logo, but Sudbury Trail Plan. I can design it for you guys.
We've tossed the idea of the logo on T-shirts and hats, and I think even just recently we have big stickers on the groomers, right? And we were talking about, why don't we get some small ones so that we could just put them on our trailers or something like that, right? Or windshield or something. And I think we're going to go that way. So there you go, another one.
A fan just sent me this. I think it's not people's put my stickers up. I think the actual clubs are printing those signs with them on.
There you go.
I think that's the story. I'm sticking to it. So
there you go. There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Corey Brock says he'd buy one if I print it.
What do you think of this?
We'll work on that logo for you. We'll work on that for you.
We can get you one of these if you need one.
I did the HCSA logo.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did quite a few. Yeah. I did quite a few of them. So we'll talk about that.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But no, it's cool. Yeah. Oh, let's go through these. This is your time to shine. We've got tons of photos here. So,
oh man,
it's
this is circa 2004. There's me on a 2000 MXZ, and with our darling Club Scanic that we had to get rid of a few years ago. But this is C111D near Windy Lake, and just a beautiful day. This is when I first got involved. Long story, but somehow a 23-year-old ended up being a club president, and so
nice.
But those were the days, and that's when I got involved.
It doesn't look like there's much grooming going on ahead of you there, trimming, pruning.
This is very early season.
Yeah,
probably December.
Yeah, I love it when you get the frost on the trees like that and the snow, and it's all hanging down, and
it's beautiful till you end up like that and having to clear it off.
yeah. They've got a special equipment now that you can just attach to a tractor and drive, right?
Yeah. We have an F-150. That's C111D so the top end by sort of Onaping River, Venetian Lake sort of thing. And so that's how we do it. Generator in the box of the truck, and electric pole saw, and
that's
5
cool.
kilometers at a time.
Actually, Corey's got a good idea. He said the Sudbury Trail Plan needs small pull-behind groomers for lake portages. Do you guys have anything like that?
Yeah, we do. They're generally club owned things. It's kind of a political football. It's being tossed around at OFSC right now, but we do have them here and there. It's not something that's very widespread, but something we're working on.
To be honest, at this point in the year, when you get the type of sleds and the traffic we get, unfortunately, those little small pull behind groomers aren't going to do much to it, right? So you need the blade on the front to grab those moguls off
really
and shave them right down. Yeah. You can
down,
pull those little ones, but they're just going to go with the moguls, right? So that's what I was saying before about how we just have some trails that they're not great access into, and you got to bump through them to get to the better ones sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You should just
trying to go around them whenever possible.
I would just put up signs, pre-order Smart Shocks from Energy Powersports.
There you go. Yeah.
And then you don't need any groomers, right?
There you go. Exactly.
I love this. This is awesome.
That's me and my old man. That's 1986 or so.
Is that an Everest or a Citation?
It's an Everest 500. Yeah, the 1980 Everest 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me in the little helmet there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What happened? You were so cute.
I know.
He's still here. He's right above you.
Yeah. I'll hear about it at the next in-person meeting. Don't worry.
That's right. Exactly. Love it.
Oh yeah, Gross Morn. That's my good buddy Taylor Welsh and I in Newfoundland.
Nice.
We went to hang out with our buddy Penny Brake, and it was a great time. That was a bucket list thing for sure.
That is cool. That is great.
Nice. That's beauty.
Yeah. Too bad it wasn't a clear day like Christy Carson gets when she goes to Wolf Mountain.
Yeah. Oh, the rocket coach.
The rocket coach. Yeah. If anybody thinks they can keep up to an old man on a 20 wide, look us up. So.
I love that name. So your family and snowmobiling is a big for you.
Yeah, big time.
Right on. And is this a recent photo or is this a few years old?
This is probably last year. This is that green sign is a dedication to one of our longstanding, most dedicated volunteers that passed away. He was a diehard RCAT guy, so we put up that sign and dedicated that trail to him.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's great.
That would have been last year, unless you forgot to put your permit on like I do sometimes. So,
that's last year. Then, you're right. Yeah, same thing. I love bringing them along, and so the little one in the front loves to do wheelies, and the one in the back doesn't. So there's this constant push and pull of let's do more wheelies, and the other one doesn't want to do any.
This is all on his rocket couch. His 20-inch wide Expedition Extreme that will spank most of us for the first 500 feet, 300 feet or so.
Yeah, I heard they're pretty awesome. I heard they're geared really good. Like it's
zero compromise, man. I put anybody on it that wants to, and they go, holy crap, this thing is actually a really good trail sled.
Yeah. No, they're pretty amazing. I heard they wheelie like you and believe, and yeah.
Nice. This is just north of Windy Lake. Just having a great time. We went for hot chocolate at Windy Lake Motel.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Love those nights like that. See, that's what I missed last weekend, but I enjoyed hanging out with Corey Jinks around the fire and, shooting the breeze and learning about all the new stuff. So it's cool, and talking to all the fans really around the fire, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, this is one of my favorite people. This is Doug Reynolds. He's a longtime past president and board member, still around. I talked to him a few weeks ago, but he's really the one that got me into volunteering. He's the guy that called. When you check the box that says, "Do you want to volunteer?" and you don't actually expect a call. This is the guy that calls you.
Yeah, so, that's great.
Yeah,
good to know, because I've checked that box for years, and then finally I ran into the right person to get into my club down here. Mm-hmm. But you hear that a lot. And now I think the clubs are getting better at following up on that. I don't think OFSC used to feed that information back like they do now.
Yeah, we fought for that.
So I think now it's really good. But yeah, it's yeah. No, it's always good to have a mentor like that. And I've heard that name before as well, that can get you in the sport and get you loving it too. And then look at this turnout you have at this bridge building party. This is really good.
That's what it's all about. That's how you do it.
You love it until the night after that. Then you hate it for about 2 hours to fall asleep. So
yeah. So those guys will help the Mudbrats bridge,
There you go.
They already have experience. It's exactly what we need right there.
We've all done a bridge or 10 like that. So
yeah, that's right. I haven't, so I can just supervise, and I'll get Mike Gulitz to come cook. He could bring the spadooch and the tomahawk steaks, and we'll have a good old fashioned cookout.
We'll wait for the next bridge for you guys. We'll make sure
That's
you can come up when
And that's
special invitation only. So
that's really the boots on the ground that makes this whole thing work. Like we could take all the credit being in leadership positions and come on fancy pants TV shows, but these guys are really the what makes this thing happen every year. And I can't tell you how many times that this specific bunch here has been out brushing and just building bridges and cleaning up trails, and it just thankless job, but somebody's got to do it, and we're lucky to have about 300 people that do that in our district.
Oh, it's awesome. And then this guy here wasn't working very hard, and then you got the guy in the blue going, "You want some of that too? Get to work." He's telling the guy in the white there, "You get to work too."
No, it's you did that wrong. No, you did that wrong. No, you did that wrong.
And he's got the big hammer. I'm not afraid to go back to the jail.
It sucks when you drop that big hammer through the stringers right into the water and go, I guess my day's done here. So
that's right. It sounds like you're talking from experience.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, completely experience. Many times. I actually bought the last bridge we did. We used power tools, heaven forbid now. And I brought leashes for my power tools so that when I slipped and they fell off, they'd fall 2 feet and I'd grab them and pull them up and go, okay, still got this one. So
yeah. Just Fly Low's heading out. He's got to go to bed. He says, great show. We'll see you next week. Yeah, we'll see you, Just Fly Low. Thanks for popping in. Sorry I didn't get a chance to chat with you tonight, but it has been a great show. I'm having a hoot. This is a blast.
Steak and Lakes.
Yeah, nice.
That's the old donkey, 98 Scandic super wide track.
Hey, the workhorse.
Like 35 miles an hour in low gear and 45 in high gear, and off you go.
That's way too fast. That's breaking the speed limit. Slow it down.
You ever staked a lake, Gary?
No, I have not.
So I did my first this year, and you think you're looking and you're like, oh, I'm doing an awesome job. They're all nice and straight. And then you look back and your stakes go like this, and you're like, holy crap, did I have somebody's really going to think I was into the brews before I went and staked this lake, right? So then you go back and you try to fix it and you make it even worse. And then you're like, oh, I just give up. People can figure it out, right? So
are you pre-drilling them, or are you drilling the hole in the ice? And I guess you have to, right? You're not going to take a big pounder out and then you hear
exactly. Yeah.
Where'd James go?
You take a gas drill and you drill them, and it's honestly it's super quick. It takes no time to do it, but you drill them to the perfect depth that you don't know. You just guess and hope that it doesn't go right through or too much, and then in the spring they actually melt right through, and then you lose the stake, right? And they're about over $10 a pop, I think now, Joel, is when we last looked at them. So we try to keep losing them to the minimum because just drives the cost up, right? So
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, they got to be a bugger to get out in the spring. Like when you go out and it's the last weekend to pull stakes.
Yeah, it's actually easy because usually they've had sun around them, and if they haven't sunk through, you just kind of actually go grab them and pull them and kind of toss them behind you in the trailer if you're real good.
Nice.
It's pretty easy, but it's when you lose them or you don't get out quick enough for that last thaw, and then you're screwed, right? So yeah.
What is the rule of? I might be boring the people watching right now, but what is the rule of the distance between, like if you're driving, when do you put the next stake in?
It's a great question. I think it's, I want to say it's 30 meters.
No, 100 meters.
It's 100 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I was just doing it off my odometer, roughly 100 meters. And if you look back, it's mainly so that in a blizzard, you can still see the next one, no matter which way, right? It's very similar to like a delineator on a highway, right? You want to be able to see it, that you know where you're going. And a few times I've been across Wanapate, or actually Panage was the worst one I was in. And you're like, oh my God, thankful those stakes are there, because I would have been stopped in the middle of this blizzard for an hour waiting for it to blow by. So
yeah. And again, it's rider safety overall,
exactly,
right? Over everything else. It's getting you home in one piece. I will compliment you guys as well, as your signage is really good around the trails.
Awesome.
Like, and I asked the question about the stakes, because we are really in New Dundee Snowmobile Club. We're really anal about getting things the right distance apart and where the things are. And our auditor is really good. He'll bust us if we aren't doing things properly. And that's something when I notice in your area, it's really easy to drive because it's well signed, well staked. Your corners are marked. It's really good. Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's something we take a lot of pride in.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I would tell you if it was bad. You'll hear that too.
And don't hold me to that 100 meters. That's just what I was.
No, I know. I was just curious because there's a lot of.
I'm sure the manual actually says something of which one how the distance is, but
it would. But you know what? Like that's. I was just curious because there's a hell of a lot of stakes on the lakes when you go across, right? And they're well marked. How do you deal with pressure cracks? Like that's something Wanapate is
known for.
For. It's
so Wanapate, if you come off the north end on the sandbank there, and it pops up a lot of years, and you're coming down, and I did it in one of those days when it's white everywhere and you can't tell what's high and what's low, and you come down and you come back up, and all of a sudden you're airborne and you're going, what the heck happened here, right? So They just try to mark them best. Sometimes they'll put in stakes or slow signs or stop, depending on how bad the actual pressure crack is and whether you have to stop to cross it or you can kind of just bump through it. So it's kind of word of mouth, though. A lot of it is it's whoever notices it and marks it at that point, right? So
for sure.
Yeah. So but like you said, Wanapate is well known for that. So
yeah, for sure. This is a good-looking crew of volunteers here.
Yep. This is so when I started with the Onaping Falls High Riders, this was the club. And so kind of the little bit of the backstory about how I ended up being the president of that club was they said, we'll do all the work. You just need to go to the meetings because we can't drive at night, and come back and tell us what they say. So that's what I did for like 5 years, was just go to the meeting, go to the meeting and tell them what they say. And so these guys are sort of mentors for me, and thankfully they're all still around today, but they're the lifeblood of that club.
Do they still ride?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good. And here we go, the C111. I think we actually were at this sign.
Yeah, that's on Windy Lake.
No, we're on the Moose Loop. I don't think we did see this one.
That would be Windy, eh?
Yeah, that's the Windy Lake run. Yeah,
that's right in the middle of Windy, that one. So,
oh, cool. Yeah, that I love. We stopped at the one lake and took a picture by the sign because I love how it's got all the city signs on it that you go
to. Yeah, you can get to from that area for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that must have been the lake racing days. An old MXZ and an XCR 800. Nice.
This was an XCR that was jetted squeaky lean, and I kept telling him don't use the premium setting on the key. And we ended up at a radar run in Baysville one day, and I'm going to use the premium setting today. So whatever, advances timing by 2 degrees or something, and sure enough, squeaked it within 25 miles. So towed him back second time.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. So that's a squeaked XCR.
Just had
by me.
Just had to try to show up, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do that extra mile an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We got some good ideas going on in the chat here. Bobby O says we should all be investors in Gary's bridge, the only snowmobile bridge with a toll, so we can make our money back. I love it. And you know what? I'll sell a transponder like the ETR.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Yeah.
I'll be like Elon Musk. I'll start taking like crowdfunding now.
There you go.
And it'll never be opened. I'll never have
to. Just like my Cybertruck reservation.
Exactly. It'll open. We'll use your Cybertruck to haul the materials to open it up.
So it won't open until we get the Cybertruck. That's good to know. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Pat says, why is it always the gray beards always doing the work?
That's what happens when you do the work. It ends up like this. It wasn't like this 2 years ago.
Yeah. Corey Brock says, because the young guys are lazy. That's
pretty
the
true,
actual.
Yeah. Can be very true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a time commitment too. Hey,
Yeah.
Jessica Reynolds says, hey, STP from D11.
Oh, hi,
Nice,
Jess.
Jessica. Hi, Jess. How's it going? Thanks for dropping by. That's our bridge cousin there that they use.
Ask her about railbed bridges.
Yeah,
There we
there you
go.
go. Yeah. She'll tell you
That's
where to
good.
go to invest that money. So
Okay, perfect. We'll get her on the show. How's that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
but just a young
Look
guy.
at that. Did you get pro photos for that, Joel? Or what?
No. That was, I lent somebody my my camera one day and we were just goofing around on a lake.
Nice.
That's up towards the watershed. It was just one of those, it blows into a bay or whatever, and there was
Nice.
2 feet of snow and we were just goofing around. But I don't know if you can see the sticker there, but that's a custom John Boris sticker. That's back when I was good friends with that guy. That kind of fell through.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You have a thing for heavy sleds, huh?
Yeah. That thing was great, man. I enjoyed that sled a lot. I asked the chassis to do things that it wasn't meant to do, but motor-wise, it was a fantastic sled.
That's cool.
Yeah. At least now it's about the same weight, but you can carry 3 people comfortably plus lunch on the back. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. They put the 850 E-Tech in the new Expedition Extremes. Wouldn't that be a riot?
Mm-hmm. That's what mine is.
That's what he has.
That's what yours is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard those are wicked.
Yeah, they go anywhere. They got the 900R now too in them. My buddy bought one and I thought about it this year. I hemmed and hawed about it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
We're just going through the kind of chronology of my snowmobile life here. I didn't know you were going to use all of these, but that's cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm not picky. I didn't know that this might have been, this might have been like Blair Morgan's first sled that he gave you, or, you can't mess up any story. You can make up whatever you want though. I mean,
sure. Yeah.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that was a great sled too.
This is a sled that's up for raffle. If you $1 ticket, you open my bridge, Gary's bridge.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And Jessica's gonna be the treasurer. And as we go here and selling transponders, so Jessica's gonna have to go back and rewind the show to know what bridge we're talking about.
Oh no, Jessica knows. She doesn't even have to rewind. She knows what bridge we're talking about. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I don't know whether we should call it the Mudbrat Snowbrat Bridge, or whether we call it Brat Bridge, or whether we call it Snowmobile Sessions Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to come up with the naming of that later.
Yeah.
That's a sweet 700 twin there though. I'm telling you.
I was a cool kid on the block when I had that, man. That's my first summer job. I went out and bought that.
Yeah.
That's what you blew your money on, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think Skidoo Ambassador Corey Jinks had that sled and rode it like crazy. So, Jacob Master said we should call it the Sexy Eyes Bridge.
Yeah.
Sexy Eyes Sky Bridge. That would be
Sky
a great
Bridge. There you go.
yeah, bridge sessions. LOL.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look at this old star.
That's the OG, man. That was my first sled. I was 12 years old in that picture, and just got my little snowmobile license. And Dad said, if I'm buying you a sled, I'm picking how fast it is. So I got a 250 star, and then I was the envy of nobody with it, but it got me around. And
it actually
got stuck.
Photo that mint freaking Grand Cherokee in the background.
And my mom's bus. Yeah. Wow. This is awesome. That thing actually got stuck on me. Not because it lost traction. It couldn't physically go forward anymore.
Wow.
It wouldn't break traction probably.
No, it wouldn't. No.
No matter what you were trying. So.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's cool. Formula S. That's a great 380 fan. Love it.
Yeah.
Bulletproof. It looks like you've got the suspension jacked up on the front there. Is that just the angle of the shot?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'm sure I was monkeying with it.
Yeah,
but,
that's pretty cool. Oh, look at this launch.
There we go.
Mom's backyard. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got the Breaking Bad trailer in the background there.
Yeah. Remember when it was cool to ride snowmobiles in dirt bike gear?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is probably 98, 99, something like that.
That was his snowcross dream days.
Yeah.
You did have a helmet on. I've got a shot like that, but my ball hat's on backwards. Yeah. So, and he's got the feet kicked up too. You have talent, man.
Were you trying to do a flip or a trick there off the seats?
Once upon a time, Blair Morgan 2.0.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. All kinds of nice stuff.
Bobby O says the conversation starter walking to the bar with a Gary Sexy Eyes Bridge shirt on.
Now we're making shirts for that too, eh?
Let's do it.
Jessica's already registering the name and getting the plaque ordered. I think we could have it open by September 2023.
That's you let me know how that works for you.
Yeah, I will.
I'll come to the bridge dedication. Okay.
Yeah. All we need is a torch to cut that gate open, and we're good to go. You get a good run at it. I just need the groomer to pop a little bit of snow at the start to get over that first 30 feet of open truss.
So when I went across it on the quad, we went across it and we were sitting on the far end, and this guy with a Wildcat comes a side by side, and he must have done it at 55 miles an hour across the whole bridge. I turned around. I'm like, I'm not seeing a guy die today. Like I honestly thought he was going right off it. No, he made it. He was fine.
Yeah.
So,
there's some wicked gaps there. I mean,
they were filled more at the time, but it still was crazy to see him go across like that. So
yeah,
there aren't any bars in
800 hours in the house. What's that? Look at this quad. All-terrain TV is going to love this one. Is that a 250 SX or what model is that?
That's a straight up 200. 83 ATC 200. That's
nice.
Cut my teeth on that. It didn't have plastic on it for some reason there, but that's my dad bought that brand new in 83 and handed it down to me in probably 95, and I ended up selling it to some guy. Man, it was way more than it was ever worth, but I wish I still have it. I wish I still had it.
No plastics, because it probably rolled 14 times before.
Oh, geez,
You know the plastics though, they just get in the way of your leg going in under that tire. Just cut out the middle, man. Just cut out the middle, man. You
look at those the wrong way and they'd roll over. So
yeah.
These are some oldies. That's my dad's 1990 Cheetah Touring. I think that's the original couch. But
are you guys ice fishing here? Or you actually
ice fishing?
Yeah, nice. Love that. Look at these old. Oh, wow. What are these Scandics?
Tundras.
Tundras. Yeah. Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that parking too. Where's that? Look at the K car. You drove a K car up to park there, wherever it was.
Is that it's a K car wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing would be worth like a fortune today. You could probably get like $3,500 for one of those right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's pretty nice. Like all those vehicles are very old.
I see an old square body in the far back there. So yeah.
This is 92 or so.
Yeah.
Where is that, Joel?
That's Path Lake.
Okay.
Just past Cartier, yeah.
Okay. The snowmobile gear hasn't changed at all, has it?
No.
No, not at all. No.
Well, the wineskin's missing, but
yeah, that's right. All Terrain TV says, "What am I looking at?"
Blast from the past.
Gary said to send me all kinds of pictures, so I sent him all kinds of pictures.
Hey, I know this shot could be from a postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's on the side of a lake somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is really what a lot of people do up here. It's not just about snowmobiling. It's about snowmobiling to a place where you can camp or hike or go fishing, go hunting, whatever.
Yeah. Not just on the trails, right? Like we get out, go on the lake.
The cheetahs broke down. Like this is not people having a fire. It's
come on. This is late 80s, early 90s machines. They're all broke down. Who are we kidding?
I remember sitting in front of my
counting spark plugs right now. I've got 2. I've got one good one. I've got 2, and we got 6 we need. Like, yeah.
You only need one good cylinder. We rode our one Polaris 600 for a full day. The wife was on it, over 50 clicks on one cylinder. And she goes, at the end of the day, she goes, it feels kind of down on power. Sure enough, the spark plug wire had popped off the one day, and it ran like that all damn day. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I rode it. My 670, I thought it was really fast driving down to Turkey Point when I first got it. And then I realized it was only run on a one cylinder. And when I got the second cylinder, I zip tied the spark plug wire on because it kept falling off and laying on the cylinder. So I put it back on. I zip tied it so it wouldn't fall off. And man, when it had both cylinders firing, holy cow.
It really was that, didn't it? Yeah. Oh, look at that. I can see the mullet from here.
That's a buck on a fishing trip.
That's your uncle?
Yeah.
Is that you with the red hat on?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It looks like Larry Enticer. It's like, is this Larry Enticer's father or dad or uncle or who is this? Guy's got no shirt on, sunning himself.
It was like 20 that day.
I like the orange open face helmet sitting on the dash.
Yeah.
It was probably there all day, let's be honest.
And the best part is Joel's got flip-up sunglasses on.
Yep.
Oh my God! Oh, I didn't even see that. That's hilarious. Yeah.
And he's the coolest kid on the lake there. And the daughter's going like, "Can we just go home?" She's leaning on the back.
Yeah.
That was one of those money days when it's like 18 degrees outside and there's still ice, but there's no snow, and just let's go fishing. That's cool.
That's ice fishing season for me. It's about 3 weeks from now. It's only when it's like that. I go out for twice a year, and that's it. If I can tan on the lake, then we're good to go. That's the only time I'll go out. So that's too funny. That's
for sure.
Yeah, those are 250 singles.
Yeah, love that.
There you go. Yeah. That was one of our club rides from not too long ago, coming down the hill. So
yeah, it's a great group there too, right?
Yeah, love it. It was awesome. We went down to Killarney and back, and but ever hard to ride with a group that big. I don't care who you are. That makes it a rough slow go. Let's put it that way. 42 kilometers an hour. So
yeah. We actually were afraid of that, and then it was like we had such a good group, and they all had the same mindset, and we ended up having a blast. And I do it all again in a heartbeat. I just know that before I get to the gas station, I'll make sure I push my way up to the front. So I'm not the dick button in.
Get
my
up first,
apologies from the 0.800R, but I felt the host should have gas to get home.
That's funny. Gotta drag all the Polarises home, because the Yamahas, if they do break down, they're too heavy to drag home anyways. So
yeah, we seen that.
There you go. My first brand new sled. That was my 2007. I still have that one, actually, Switchback Assault. So I rode that on Sunday instead of my other one, and man, do I miss it. Is it ever fun?
And best color package as well, the white with the retro red and blue.
I love that. That sled came out of Saskatchewan. They had really shitty snow that year, so they brought a bunch of snow checks back to Ontario, and that's how I picked it up. So I love the retro. It looks really nice beside the XC700 that I got sitting in the garage. So
yeah, it's a sweet looking thing. Is that your old?
That's the Centaur, and that was the one that I said that I rode in once and never rode in again. And it's the smallest little thing. And you've ever been in that, Joel, the Centaur?
I haven't. No. No. I think pretty sure it's down in District 8 now, and they love it. But
it is. They bought it, and you take a big old shoehorn and you jam two guys into there, and then you gotta adjust the drip on the chains every so often, because it actually drips onto the chains to keep them lubricated. And I went out with Reno in there, and that was a rough day. That killed my grooming thoughts for a little while, definitely. So but it was just one of those things that you go out and you live the life and see what groomers like. So I guess Gary decided to leave.
Oh, we lost him. So I guess we're in charge now. So
we're in charge of this place.
The inmates are running the asylum, I suppose.
Yeah. So when are we starting the fundraising for that bridge, so that Gary can buy it and lease us the use on it? So
yeah. As long as Gary wants to buy it, I'm good with it.
We'll get the t-shirts going and go from there. So power went back out at home. Oh geez.
No kidding.
Good. Oh, here we go. It's start of the no power season. So but yeah, that Centaur is just horrid. It's great for opening trails and playing around on it, but it's definitely not anything to write home about. So
it's just a glorified Argo, isn't it?
That's all it is. That's an Argo with big tracks on it. That's all it is. So it'll go anywhere. That's the thing, because it's so light, right? But that was definitely not the grooming experience I was expecting when I went out in it. It took he went for a beer, Rob says. yeah, exactly.
Can you bring us one too?
Yeah.
My power's out at home.
Oh no.
There you go.
My power's out. I just I wish Rob All guys says I'm gone for a beer.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It's back on. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the Wi-Fi to turn back on.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's here. Hold on.
I don't know if we're getting snow. Somebody said, Pat, are you getting snow now? Probably mentioning to you, Gary, but we're supposed to get some tonight too, I think. So I think we're supposed to get 5 centimeters tonight. So let's hope that we get some more. More snow, the longer it goes. So
favorite groomer is we've got a lot of Huskies, Prinoth Huskies, and we have a pretty good relationship with the local dealer for Prinoth. So they've taken good care of us over the years, and it's a great machine. We probably have maybe 6 or 7 Huskies now.
At least we got a bunch of Huskies. We got one Trooper, BRs. We used to have Lamb Tracks, and what else did we have? Tuckers, the 4 the 4-track Tuckers. Those were interesting. So
Corey, we talked about the C&D trail a little while back. That's one of these connections that we lost because of land use, and so we're trying to get it back. The reason it doesn't connect anymore is because we actually had to move C Trail over about maybe a kilometer to the east. So can we put it possible, but there's city bylaws, so that's a school zone, and I'm not sure that it's a legal road.
We've run that by the city, and I don't think they were overly keen on it for that reason, because it's a school zone.
And then And then the landowner behind there, which we've talked to a bunch. There's something about a turtle sanctuary in there, so it's really been a bit of a snag, but we're working on it. That's all we can do.
JM, yeah, the tractor. We've had tractors around here. We've heard many times that the elevation change they don't like, especially a lot of guys don't like the 4 conversion ones because the elevation change and all 4 will spin out, kind of the same as the Tuckers. But the Sure Track ones, they don't like them because they're 2 tracks, so they keep their grip, but they don't like because they steer with the drag as a rudder. And so when you steer to go left, it kind of drags the drag to the opposite side and turns it. And a lot of guys just can't get used to that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So they do have a newer version, though, of Sure Track that they've just come out with, and I'm hearing good reviews on it so far. But we'll see what we generally stick with Prinoth and Husky around here. Kind of the industrial meant for grooming. So
it's also a weight thing. I think a tractor is probably about I would say 12 or 13,000 pounds, right? And a purpose-built groomer weighs maybe 30% less than that. So it just really helps on the swamps and the softer areas.
Yeah, we need that PSI, the pounds per square inch on the tracks, to be as spread out as possible to get through a lot of it. So hey, Gary's back.
There he is.
I swear it's thundering, storming right now, and the power is out. Like the power's back on now, but it went out. Of all things, we're having a great time technology-wise tonight.
That's okay. Okay. That happens. You need power for technology, right? So
you do.
Yeah. You don't have your Tesla smart wall installed there yet.
No. Nobody appreciated it until lodge sessions when I had to bring all the gear out, and then Jacob goes, "I had no idea that you had this much crap running at any given time during
Keep
the
it going." Yeah.
The chat's been awesome. They've really been carrying the show while you were gone, so that's great.
You know what? They Gary's car just joined the chat. No, that the people in the chat are amazing. Like I said, they're all passionate snowmobilers. They're real snowmobilers. I mean,
for sure.
I mean, it's I can't say enough about them. They get along every week, and
Oh, did he just lose it again? Pat, what's the most economical groomer on fuel? We used to go through this. It's not so much the groomers that are more economical as the terrain they do, Oh, maybe Gary is still with us. He's cutting.
I'm back.
There you go. $5 towards the bridge.
Yeah, nice. Cha-ching.
There we go.
You know what? That's going to buy, like, I don't know, those big long nails. 4 of them, maybe?
4, yeah. No. After COVID, it's only 2.5.
Okay, there we go. So we'll get one side of a 2x6 nailed down.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. Yeah.
So Sexy Eye Sky Bridge. There we go. I have some ideas. Do you guys pay your operators?
Yeah, we do.
Not totally.
For the most part.
Not totally. Yeah. We're kind of a mixed area where we have some volunteer operators, but we do pay the majority of them. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. So we have about 40 full-time, or we'll call them seasonal full-time operators. They're employees of the district, and it's really helped us to centralize grooming. And I know it's not the model that everybody uses. A lot of places a groomer will be tied to a club, but this really allows us to transcend sort of boundaries. And it's worked for us for, as long as I can remember. We've been centrally grooming, and a lot of districts have kind of picked up on that. And when you talk to them, they say, "Oh, well, we're doing it kind of like Sudbury does now." So it works for us. And the tricky part is being competitive from a cost perspective with the districts that are volunteer only. We get a fixed rate per hour of grooming, and so it's tricky to fit that into the cost model. But they do a fantastic job. We believe that it's you get what you pay for. So we've got really, really good operators, as you have seen from the product, and
We also need we have a bit of competition in the area, right? Where we have full-time employment available to most people in this area with the mining companies and such. So it's a lot harder to get the volunteers to put up time to be able to and commit to being able to give us a full winter's worth of time. So it makes a big difference. Unfortunately, like Joel was saying, from a cost perspective, we do have to watch so that we break even or make a little bit of money, heaven forbid. So to put some away for the bad year, right? So Corey said, how many hours? We average, I think our average is about 4,900 hours of grooming a year.
Holy.
So just shy of the 5,000 hour mark. Yeah. Up and down depending on the season, of course, right? So
I like this comment from Bobby O. I don't live or ride up in Canada, but thank you for your service, James and Joel. Got to give props to everyone in the service of helping us ride the trails.
Man, that means a lot, man. It's
great.
Definitely does. Yeah.
It's hard sometimes, having full-time jobs and families, and like my kids are upstairs sleeping right now. So appreciate that. Appreciate the hell out of that, guys. That's
problem. Awesome. Whitetail Stables, I saw posted the hydro lines are leased by Ontario Hydro and the land is privately owned. Is that true for your area? I know guys think they're free game for off-trail riding.
It really depends. It depends on the easement. A lot of the problem here too is that not only do we have Ontario Hydro transmission lines, we also have the mining companies that own their own transmission lines. And on those ones, they are generally privately owned by the mining company where they put the transmission lines. So I would say more than not, it's private land and respect it and stay off of it unless you know otherwise. Get to know somebody local to try to figure out whether it's private or not, right? I know guys love playing on it and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I love it too, but it's not worth losing the trail to get you there just to go play a little bit on it, right? That's the thing. So
we did see some signs that some of them said that, stay on trail or lose the trail. And that's in those power line areas. And that's their asset too, that you're ripping around. So they got to protect that as well, right?
Absolutely.
And you got to remember, if you're off trail, it's technically their liability in a lot of cases too, right? And they don't want the liability. And if that means shutting the trail that gets to that area off, they got to look after their own assets and their own asses. I hate to say it, but
it's true.
Right? So So.
Is there off trail opportunities in your area that are like on limits, like okay to ride? Or
we've Joel would know better than I would, but we've talked about finding these areas if there is and possibly making some designations that we could find, but it's all figuring out who owns it and such, right? So there is a lot of crown land, so there probably is for sure. So
it's a matter of using, like the Ontario government has a crown land use atlas that's available for free. Check that out, and if you find an area that's crown land, by all means. It's generally speaking within our network, there's not a lot of crown land. And anything within, if you're familiar with the Sudbury area, there's that impact crater that you see on the TV all the time. That's all private. So anything within there is private, and it has been a kind of a free for all, and it's really unfortunate, and it's cost a lot of riding opportunities because of that stuff.
Yeah. It's almost too like when you're riding in the remote area, it looks like it would be a free. Oh, this would be safe. There's nothing around. There's no harm, no foul kind of thing. But it's all owned. I love to hear the story. Was it Thomas Edison that started that one mine up, and then he didn't find anything, and he sold it, and then about a year later, the new people hit money bank.
Yeah. Nice. We actually have a building called the Edison Building.
Edison. That's it. Yeah.
So he was one of the founders of one of the mining companies.
Yeah, that's awesome.
See, and I didn't even know that. I learned something new now.
I'm not as looks as I'm dumb.
Yeah. No comment.
I watch YouTube videos. I know about Sudbury.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have a sound effect, but we got more money for the Sexy Eyes Bridge.
$20, sweet.
$25 now, guys.
We're up to we're ramping it up. We're ramping it up. You want to know what this sled was? This is the one that got away. I had this sled for years. My dad bought it, and I sold it 5-6 years ago for $1,200, and I am so mad that I sold it. Period. I look for it every time I see one. I know those numbers 688000, and I hope that'll be it, and I can buy it back. And I've never run back into it.
Your price is now $5,500, not $1,200.
I know, exactly, and that's the thing. It was just taking up space. We weren't using it every year, so I got rid of it, and I should have never. It was the first year of the XCR 440s, 92, and I should have never got rid of that one. So
that's a sweet sled, man.
And that's the lake. I live on that lake, so that's my playground in the winter when I want to just go for a run up and down, back and forth up this lake. So
that's cool.
That's cool. So
thank you, Pat. That's awesome. And Renegade X even gives you a big thumbs up. That's $20 US. So man,
that's like we got enough to buy that bridge now.
You don't ever underestimate the Snowmobile Sessions clan, because
there you go. Yeah,
there's strength in numbers here, and these guys are all top notch. So
exactly,
it'll happen if we get a group together. We will make it happen. I'm excited now. This is great.
There you go. There you go.
Towards it. We're gonna have the first case of coffee open on that thing when we go to work on it. Right.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. After the work's done, right? Coffee only after the work's done.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. This was just actually
coffee.
This was just on Sunday. This was the Walden Snow Runners hot dog and hot chocolate day, and we went and rode and met up with them, and the groomer was there, and you see that suit, how well that matches that sled you saw before. That's the blue and red and white. That was pure coincidence too. I didn't that's just how I walked into it, but
that's awesome.
I think
I found your old XCR. It's right there.
Come on now.
Did you not have a cat? Did you not take it in?
It's not a cat.
Did you not get the recall done on it?
Don't say that. I haven't got the recall on mine done yet. So
nice. Yeah. It's a hard work with the clubs, and I imagine your club is a lot harder than what we deal with day to day, because we're only open a few days a year, and the look at the smiles on your faces. That says it all.
It does. It does.
Hard-working bunch.
That's myself, and then a couple of the one side is Stan, the president of Walden. The other side's the secretary treasurer of Broder Dill, a different club, and Bernie Arsenault, and then our great groomer operator Mark Wally in the middle, and he got those trails dialed for us to get up there that day, and it was great. So it's the thanks goes out to those guys, paid or unpaid. They're the ones that put in the late night hours and keep the trails the way that we all like them, right, as smooth as possible. So
yeah, that's very cool. Well, thank you again for all your service. This is you thought Joel had cool kids pictures. Look at this. Bull.
That is me.
He's got the bowl cut on the back of the snow cruiser.
Yeah. That was my grandfather. So he passed away when I was 8. So I was probably only 6 or 7 there. And the back of the 67 snow cruiser, just going for a ride. You know what, Joel? I got one that was a 70 in my garage now. And I haven't had it out in the last few years, but I'm hoping next year to get it out, because they're cool old machines. So that's
sweet.
Yeah. That's
and I love how you actually have set the trend for snowmobile fashion with the gray shirt, the gray pants. I think they're track pants, and you've got the gray rubber boots on.
I didn't even notice that. Now that you say that, I don't even know. That was way too many years ago to even try to remember. But Christ,
you just need a Climb logo on there, and your parents go, "We're not buying you a helmet. We're just going to cut your hair so it looks like you're wearing a helmet."
Like you're wearing. There you go. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Joel, you see the hat? That's a
Yep.
Fisher Wavy hat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's
Very
I still
cool.
think I've got that exact sled, that one in the picture in the back 40 that just kind of rotted it's got a birch tree growing through the bumper now and is still sitting there. So
dude, that's cool though, right?
We donated it back to the earth.
Yeah. Very
Look, there we go again. Yeah.
There's a saying that you haven't aged a day.
That's true.
That does not apply here.
That's
wow,
cool.
That's my brother and I sitting on the snow cruiser. So that was our first start. I remember that snow cruiser like it was yesterday, literally. So
look at how much room's on that seat. You could fit a family of 5 on it.
You could, yeah. And if you stack them too high, a family of about 7. So, and you know what? What do they call those? Snow crushers, and it would still go through anything and everything, So, and the one, that one had electric start and reverse.
Yeah.
This was 1967 and an electric start and reverse. You got machines that don't have that today.
No, that's right. That's right. They did it have a cigarette lighter plug on it too? Like the actual cigarette lighter, you push in it, go bing.
One of those two on you can see it kind of over there, and there's either one that I'm pretty sure one was a cigarette lighter for sure.
Yeah. Because
Well, you're filling up the fuel, right? You got to light your smoke. So
yeah. My Nordic had it, but it didn't have the actual unit. I was going to get one from the wrecker, but my buddy's 640 unit Nordic, it had the actual push in and a ding, just like the old car.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. So
very cool.
There you go. Same one. Yeah.
Man.
You're ripping there, man.
Well, that's what I was looking at the picture and I'm like, was I driving and staring at the camera? Like,
because the track looked like it's moving.
It looks like it's moving. I'm pretty sure I'm moving. Yeah. So
that's wild.
Funny. That's funny. Yeah.
One hand.
One hand. I
don't get your left hand over on the right side. Were you checking gas or something? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question. Or getting ready to pull start it when it stalled again, just to be ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
pretty wild.
There you go. That's the old Apollo. That was our next one up. So yeah, hard to see there, but
there it is.
Yeah.
There's the logo there.
We got upgraded at that point. We were allowed helmets, right? So
nice matching too. Matching helmets. Yeah. And you got you got the purple hoodie to go with your purple snowsuit.
There you go. Look at a purple here, purple there.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah. Those I remember getting those snowsuits. We got them for Christmas, and we literally went that night and had a fire at the back in the back 40. And my brother and I both melted the back of our snow pants right off the first night we had them, right?
But that's the thing. Those are the stories you always talk about, right? Like, it was hell when it happened. Your parents probably were mad as heck because they just got you that at Zeller's, right? It's like
exactly. Yeah. What they did for this sport, you know what I mean? Like you look back at it and you think, it wasn't much, but it never was a poor man's sport, right? And
no.
They scraped together to get snowsuits and stuff, and thankful for them for sure for doing that. So yeah. So
are you James? Are you 50? Are you over 50?
No. We're both under 40, Joel and I.
So. Okay, so you guys.
Yeah. I know I look it, but that's what happens.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't think. I maybe thought you were like me, where you look way younger than you actually are. I was telling these young whippersnappers at lodge sessions that Canadian Tire used to have a whole section of the store dedicated to snowmobiles back in the day.
Yeah.
They used to turn over the store, and it was heaven, right?
Yeah. That's where you used to go for this stuff. There was
exactly.
I mean, there was no Royal or websites or anything. You used to go to Canadian Tire and you'd pick out the fancy boots and the you know, and the blue beautiful helmet like that, 3/4, you know, and then you had the big bubble on the front, and
the catalog that would come out that was that thick on snowmobile stuff, like it was just heaven. Like that's the thing. And then Royal came in and it basically just went to the wayside. But
exactly.
See, All Terrain TV is going to love these photos.
That was my brother had a 50 and I had a CT70, which was the road legal version of a dirt bike, right? And my brother's was way cooler because you'd sit there and you'd go first gear. It was the semi-auto, right? First gear into second, and then you'd go into third, but you held the shifter down,
and then you'd pop it,
and then you'd pop it up. Yeah, exactly.
My Wolverine's like that. Yeah,
your ass would be bouncing off the asphalt, right, as you're going with the front wheel up, and what a ride.
I bet you wish you still had that CT70 too, right?
You know what? I wish I still had them both, Gary, because the CT70 was a collector's, and the 50 now, my daughter's 2.5. You know, give her more years and she'd be on that damn thing. But that's I rode. I must have put 1,000 kilometers on that thing, up and down the driveway, down to the lake and back up, and down to the lake and back up, and you know, and the CT70 was road legal. You could have put that on the road and done your M license on it.
Absolutely, imagine that. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and there's a recent one. That's my new 22 with my 2020 daughter on there, 2.5 years old. She absolutely loves sledding. We got a little harness on her to hold her on when I need to move around, and she loves it. Absolutely loves it. Yeah.
Did you just run over someone's ice fishing flag there?
I don't know what that is actually. What is that? That's interesting.
It's actually not on the photo.
I was gonna say it's not on the picture. Okay, it is a glitch of some sort, because I was like, there was nothing there that I ran over. So
yeah, it's not actually in the photo. Isn't that weird? It's on the stream, but not on the photo. How do you like the 900R?
I love it. It's you know, and that's where I go back between. I still have that switchback assault, and depends what you want to do on the day. You want to cruise for miles and miles and miles, you jump on the 900R. If you want to enjoy the jumps and running around, you go on the 600, right? So on the switchback assault. So Joel's
kitty.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, guys.
Who's kitty meowing, or is it Sexy Eyes calling me to the bedroom?
This is Oreo, and she's pretty whiny.
Nice. This pet segment is brought to you by Rob the Old Guy.
That's funny.
We will have a pet segment.
There you go. Actually, I think I don't know if you have it there, but there's one picture I sent you there, Gary, that the dog's on the sled and she loves going behind. So there's my little.
Is that your Broder?
That's my little girl.
Associate. I love that.
Yeah, that's they got those a couple onesies made up for us for Andy there to wear. So yeah. Youngest volunteer around, so
that's cool. Yeah. Start them young.
Exactly. We're going out. She's going to come with me. We're doing a bridge dedication on March 11th to one of our club members that passed away recently, and we're going to bring her out with me and just to go for the run, because it's a short run, right? So, but she loves snowmobile. Absolutely loves it. You start it up and she runs to it. She goes snowmobile, and runs to it. So
yeah.
So that's the ones that you can still start and hear them run, not the EV ones that she'll be riding by the time we get there. So
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a couple of our club volunteers there at our shelter down. That's going towards Killarney. So
yeah, that's one thing is you don't have a lot of warming huts and warm up shelters. Is it because it's on private property that you don't have those?
It's a little bit of both. It's not so much that as some private property, some M&R, you can tow them out depending where they are, right? But I also think too, a lot of our areas, some of it, other than the one that's really far north, a lot of it you don't really need one around here. You're close enough that you can get to restaurants and stuff, right? So
I think it's also we haven't had a lot of luck with getting people to respect them,
Yeah.
And so it's something we've moved back towards over the last few years. Like your shelter in BDSA has been around for a long time, but generally people haven't been great at keeping them in good shape and stuff. But the last few years has been really, really good, and I'm really pleasantly surprised that some of the warming shacks and the fire pit locations and have been respected, and that's awesome. We're happy to put more up, as long as people are using them and being kind to them.
Yeah. I think there needs to be some responsibility. You're right with them, and being so remote, possibly you would get more open to vandalism. But I know that's some of the things that the Wisconsin people were looking forward to seeing is warm up shacks, and I don't know that we passed one in our travels.
Right.
If you'd done the Moose Loop, which I don't know if you did or not,
we didn't know.
Okay, so there's one at the corner of C111D and Trail 56 that was actually just built this year by high school students. And they built it in shop class as part of the shop class. And the bonus with that one is they tow it in and out. So in the off season, it won't get completely trashed, and it'll be brought back up every year, right? So we're hoping to do some more. Again, like Joel said, it's the respect and the fact that a lot of them, you got to go and put a piece of wood in. Just do it because you're there. Even if you stop and you don't go in, just put a piece of wood in so that it's warm for the person that does need it to be warm. You know what I mean? So don't leave your pop cans around and your all that kind of stuff. Just be courteous to the area. That's all we're asking. It's not tons. So
that warm up shack at 56 and C111D, that was put together by Paul Mayu is a Polaris ambassador. He's also a high school shop teacher, so that's how that got going.
I remember seeing posts on Facebook about that. What a dynamite idea! Like to get the students involved in building and learning construction techniques, and how can you go wrong, right?
And on top of that school does every year. They do a 2-day thing where they bring in the Greater Sudbury Regional Police snowmobile unit, and they do a workshop on how to snowmobile safely and such, and then they actually go and do a ride the next day. So it's cool. So there's the newer version of my old one. That's the one that I've actually got now. So that's I need an exhaust. If anybody has a place that they know that they could find a 432cc exhaust for that, the opposed twin, that's all I need, and then it's ready to go. Electric start, reverse, everything ready to go. So
that's sweet. Could you not get someone to fabricate an exhaust for that thing? They were simple.
I haven't got to that point yet, but I will if it comes to it. I'm gonna pull it all out this summer, and if it comes to it, I will definitely do that, because so this is the flip side of that, selling that other one for $1,200. We picked this up about same time, about 5-6 years ago, for $700. So you don't find these anymore, right? So
no.
So
that's a good deal. Then you'll fall in love with this one just the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So
if you can't find an exhaust, I'll give you $550 for it.
I might have to do $575. $575, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. There you go. There's the dog on the ride in the sled. She loves sitting on the back or in the sleigh riding the sled. So that's I've got a thing for old wedges. So that's my old Trail Deluxe. That's the beater sled around here. So
great sled. That's a great sled for a beater.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's got what is that called? The extra 12 on the back. The suspension, and then you have
that
the
one
extender.
That one was pre extra 12 or extra 10. That was more like I think 7 back then, because that was the 92. So they didn't move much. So, but again, it's got reversed. That's all that matters to me. So
that's cool.
And, So. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I love. Again, that's my favorite color that Polaris has done.
Yeah. That And you know, I'm hoping they bring back the retro this year, because the last few years they've done the black or the gold, and I've never been a huge fan of that. I just love that color. I think it just pops great. So
Yeah,
but, that's also at our shelter with our for Broderdale there. So it's our
Cool.
little stop on the way down to Killarney. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to make a note of that one
for
to visit that clubhouse. Looked killer, like great.
So Joel mentioned his mentor around here, and that's mine. His name's Richard Blesky, and he kind of took me under his wing, and we went on a trip to Timmins, and he told me the ins and the outs, and he's been groomer, vice president. I think he's pretty well done anything. He was just our operations manager for a couple months while we were without one, and he stepped in and volunteered to do it. So STP owes that man a lot. So thank you, Richard, for what you've done. And
Absolutely.
that was on a ride. I think that might have been on that's on just getting onto Panage, on the north end of Panage there. So
sweet.
So he's given up snowmobiling, unfortunately. He rides the groomer every now and then, goes to Arizona and Florida and those kind of places instead of staying in the snow. So he's done his time. So
yeah. Oh wow, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing with these clubs. I mean, it's not just about the snowmobiling. It's not just about building trails. It's about relationships, and you meet the nicest people in a snowmobile club, and it just ends up being family.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, that's saying we have our meetings on Wednesday nights, and it's like I look forward to the next Wednesday meeting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's a community. You know what I mean? Like you said before, Gary, it's just a community of people that you didn't expect, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's another one. That's actually right headed towards Wolf Mountain. That was just the day we were out just playing around and going for a ride. So
nice.
That's my poor buddy, the second one, the orange sled there, who's got no riding this year because he slipped on some ice and broke his leg. So he's out of luck this season, unfortunately. So the old cat gets a rest for a season. So
you could get a ski boost and pull him behind you.
That's an idea. Maybe I should do that. Yeah.
All's not lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I recognize this bridge. Yep.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure we crossed this bridge.
Probably. If you said you went to Espanola.
Yeah. No, we did. I don't know if we went to Espanola. Corey was leading. He'll be able to tell you. I know the one place we went had a big pick roller walleye sculpture at it, but that was up near Highway 11.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, there's that shift in the background that did its day on one cylinder. So
nice.
We not that day, thankfully, but we try and get out, the wife and I, and go sledding. We're going Friday, actually, going out for her first time this season. So
nice.
Get out and enjoy it. Yeah. So
Mrs. Mudbrats hasn't been out yet this year. I got to get her out.
No? Oh, geez. Oh, yeah.
I told her the conditions up north are perfect right now. She's got to get up north.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. That was our trip to Cochrane, or Timmins Cochrane. That was the trip I was telling you about, where I kind of got sucked into the whole volunteer more and do more, and now I'm here and I love it. So yeah,
that's great.
So it's awesome.
There's another good area, Cochrane, where volunteerism is huge, right?
It's
like
huge. Yeah,
they only exist because of the support of the volunteers and all the clubs and that work hard to make it all happen.
Yeah, exactly. And they do a great job on social media of promoting what they do and when they're out, right? So
they do.
Makes a big difference, so that you can learn and understand what goes into it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I want to go riding.
I know, isn't it?
I know. Yeah. That was a fun trip. That was a bunch of us from Broderdale went on that trip, and a couple of the old guys came and complained all the time that we were all going too fast. And, honestly, they were only a minute and a half behind us. They weren't far, right? And it took like, and they were on, fan cooled or whatever. And I'm like thinking that you're doing pretty good for that, considering that you're that close to us, you're not 10 minutes behind us. You're only a minute behind us. So
wicked.
You can't be doing too bad. I mean, they were doing 41 kilometers an hour. We were doing 48, 49. So.
Exactly. I heard Cochrane, you can hit 51 by mistake and not realize it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You ever been there, Gary? Where this?
No, I've
is?
seen
No?
I've seen pictures of this place. It looks amazing. Yeah.
So that was the one day my buddy and I. That's Killarney Sportsman's Inn. And we left my place. He showed up at about 11 late, and left my place. Went through Espanola. We're sitting in Espanola Timmy's at 4 o'clock, and this was after the time change. It was late March. Let's go to Killarney through Little Current at 4 o'clock. And so we booted down through the North Shore, and a beautiful day for riding. It was just, everything was perfect. And getting back from Killarney was no problem because I'd been down there many times. Nice night ride. And it was just you couldn't ask for a better day. One of those March days that you just like, this is probably it for the season, but went out with a bang. So
yeah. There's a couple of nights so the Larry Barrio all in poker run. This is one of the stops, and then where he actually has it, that really fancy place. What's that one called?
Killarney Mountain Lodge.
That looks cool.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, they're owned by the same person now. But yeah, that was actually just this weekend that they did.
It was.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's where I've seen videos, like Vince did videos in both these places, and it's like, wow, top notch, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a beautiful area, and they've got that and some winter stuff with the park, but there's not a whole lot going down there other than that. So it's a great spot to go, and they really appreciate your business. So
really cool.
Yeah. There's the ice caves, Joel.
Yeah.
So can you actually go in? Can you actually go inside of them like the other ones?
Yeah.
I know what that glitch is on the screen.
Oh, you figured it out. There we go. That's funny.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, you can go right behind those depending on the year, of course, and how the conditions are, right? So they're pretty neat.
I don't want to say it, but I think those are way better than the Kearney ones. I don't want to say it out loud.
Don't tell that to Mark Renault.
We didn't even go to the Kearney ones this year. We go in spurts. We boycott them for a few years, and those are way better than the Kearney ones.
We'll bring you up there next year if you're here, and we'll see you can see what they're like in person. So
are they always like this big, like this, like thick of ice?
Every time I've went is pretty, it's pretty. I've never really seen it thin, but I don't think I've ever tried to go there at kind of the beginning of the season or anything like that. So,
dude, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. You're going to be a tour guide one of these days. Yeah. Can you ride consistently at 47 kilometers an hour, or is that too much?
Of course. Oh no,
okay,
of course.
You're definitely going to be a tour guide for us. That's impressive.
There you, exactly. Corey wants to go to Killarney, so there we go. We got a couple trips planned then. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Corey's my manager. He's my business manager for Mudbrats.
Cool.
So he's
awesome.
Set it up.
Awesome. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
He's a volunteer too. That's why he was asking if your groomers get paid, because I tell him I'm going to pay him the same as a groomer gets. So make sure it's all volunteer. So.
It's still no hell, don't worry. So that was we were doing brushing on the trail in the winter down in Killarney because you can only get the equipment in there in the winter.
Yeah.
And
swampy.
Swampy, exactly. So we had these signs put out, and then I went and laid underneath a cedar tree while it was snowing and had a nap, literally. And
really
waited for the brusher to catch up with me. Yeah, drank my coffee out of my thermos, and what a day! You can't. That's a good volunteering day. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So was that heavy equipment for your equipment that you had in there? that sign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had a big excavator with a brusher head on it, so it was we'd drive the excavator operator in with his fuel, and he'd fill up, and then we'd go up ahead and just wait for him to catch up, and you'd kind of move the signs along so that people knew that there was equipment coming towards them, or they're coming up on equipment. So
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
So
there's another shot of the shelter.
There's shelter. Yeah, that's one of the days we were bringing lumber in with the Argo. So our the print-off dealer here for is the Shop Industrial, and they also give us a great price on Argo rentals to get stuff into places that we wouldn't get into otherwise. So we appreciate them for doing that. So
yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Hi, that's the two guys that can't keep up. We're only a minute behind.
Yeah.
So, Jim and Phil.
It looks like if they're like that, it looks like they're having a good time.
Oh, they definitely were. That's that we were doing some work on a little bit of a bridge there, and they're a couple good old guys. So it's nice to have the past around to tell you what you did wrong and where to do it better, and where is going to go wrong in the future, because they know all those spots, right? So
yeah.
So that's a lot of knowledge between guys like that. So,
but they'll never tell you.
No. Or they'll wait till you screw it up and then they'll tell you, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's the truth, right?
Yeah. So
it's nice to be able to lean on guys like that when
it's true. It's true. All kidding aside, right?
Yeah.
They're the gold of the area. So
exactly. And there's the old wedge collection, or a few of them. So that's that was my.
Do you own both of those?
I've got. Hold on. Do you want me to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wedges, I think.
That's excellent.
Plus the snow cruiser.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, they don't all run every season because it would take way too much to try to keep them going. But yeah, we definitely have them kicking around here. So yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah. Oh, it's the way the sport came up, right? So it's neat to see. There's another picture of them. So
what's it? Yeah. So when you're a young guy, it was snow cruiser, right?
Yeah.
When you're a kid.
Yeah.
And then what got you into Polaris? Was it just something you just bought and you never left, or?
No. So, well, I did leave because I'm on a Skidoo now, right? So.
That's right too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did get your learnings and you got smarter.
I started on a snow cruiser, and then I went to my first trail machine was a Citation 250. And then I moved to one of these indie sports, not that one, but very similar. And I don't know, my dad bought them. He bought the indie sport and the XCR that you saw earlier at the same time. And that's kind of where I started. And then I kind of left the sport for a little while because I moved around down south. And then I came back to Polaris. And honestly, the only reason I tried the Skidoo was the 4-stroke. I wanted to try a 4-stroke out. And, kind of like my trucks, though. I'm a Chevy guy that's driven a Chevy, 3 Dodges, and now I'm in a Ford within the last 10 years. So, not really brand loyal. I hate to say it. I'll probably never be an ambassador for anybody because they don't like guys like me. So, but
right. Yeah.
I just like to try different stuff. Right. But the wedges to me are kind of the timeless snow machine in my mind. Right. So,
yeah, it's an iconic shape too, right? It's
exactly.
If someone says they don't like a wedge, you got to slap them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They probably owned one in the past, and that's why they say that.
They probably owned one, and they probably didn't like the preseason start every year where you got to dump gas down the carbs half the time or down the plug holes to get it going. But once it gets going, it's great.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So, yeah. This is an old piece of mine equipment that's up on the C111D up north of Geneva Lake.
See, I want to see things like this.
Yeah, I forgot about this one. This is a neat thing that you can see, and it's there's an old, is the head frame behind there, or what used to be a head frame of some sort?
All the bases of all the buildings are still up there. I think what that is a ball mill. It's a part of a milling process. They used to tumble the rocks in there with steel balls, and that's how you grind it up.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so that's a neat thing to see. So you'll have to do that moose loop next time you're up for sure. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the thing. I've never done the moose loop, so that's a definite.
It's a great day. It's a great day. So
yeah,
for sure.
And mining's huge there. So this is obviously the mine land, so they don't care where they leave their stuff, right?
This one's in limbo. I don't know that anybody really owns this one anymore. I mean, it's owned by somebody, but this one's kind of just a relic, which they do happen. Every once in a while you come across an old gold mine. There's one out by your way, right, James? And they're just kind of abandoned, and they're owned by the government, I suppose. And
it's
as long as it's not.
Pat says that's a tail pulley.
Oh, it could be a great big one. Yeah, it could be a conveyor.
Yeah. I mean, it's changed nowadays too, right? The mines, they can't do this anymore like they used to, but it's neat to see, at some point this will rot away and you'll never even know it was there, right? So
right.
It'll see it while you can. It'll be a while before that goes for sure. So,
and then what will we see there? Will we see like K cars and Reliant station wagons?
You might.
Yeah, depending where you go, you might.
And our grandkids will say, "I think my dad had one of those," or my grandpa.
No, they'll say that's a nice Reliant automobile.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
Sorry to quote the Bare Naked Ladies there, but
no, exactly. That's one thing I will say about Sudbury is like you get more nice sunsets like consistently than anywhere else that I know of, because every year I've been there, you've had at least one or two nights where it's just epic.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures of the auroras that you missed last night? If you were,
I
missed
did
them too, but beautiful. And
I did. And apparently they were there Saturday night too. And we were up north Saturday night. And, but I fell asleep during the hockey game at about 10 o'clock. I know.
Yeah.
Denon was saying how we were up to 1 or 2 in the morning every night at the lodge, and he would have been greatly ashamed at my performance on the weekend.
Exactly.
Fast asleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah. No, there's some nice. That's down the lake just for me. I don't get actually sunrises or sunsets really where I'm situated perfectly, but you go down the lake and around the corner, and you can get some really beautiful shots. So that's my favorite right there. Even on the Old Girl, and just go for a ride in the fresh powder and jump the old 340 every now and then and get some air with it. So that's
sweet.
So. Oh, there's that centaur again. That was the one. That's the video that I was running after it. Where
it is. There it is.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I cut a tree for the operator, and then he said, "Oh, you can catch up here." And I'm thinking, great. This is grooming for you. Hey, run after it. So,
and that's again the old guy wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Making you pay the price.
Burn the young buck out while you can. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that is the last picture that you sent in. That was awesome.
No, that's cool. I like that. That's awesome.
Thanks for taking us down memory lane. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This has been I've enjoyed this show. This has been amazing. It's been so much fun. I've learned a lot. You can't help but not learn a lot. I bought a bridge. I don't know how I'm going to break that news to my wife, but it'll come out at some time. It is her birthday today, so maybe I'll just tell her happy
birthday.
Happy birthday, sweetie. I bought you a bridge.
That's right.
And she'll go, what the am I going to do with that?
Well, here's a hammer and $5, $25 worth of nails.
25. Yeah. And then you say, what's yours is mine. So thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. How do people follow you guys on Instagram or find out more about your club or stay in touch with what you guys are doing?
Right now, honestly, go to Facebook, look up Sudbury Trail Plan. We're we only use Facebook right now. Instagram, you know, we got enough on our plate that I've thought about it, but it's all a time thing, right? So go to facebook.com. I think it's /Sudbury Trail Plan. Just look up Sudbury Trail Plan. You'll see our logo there. We also have, like I said, 10 of our member clubs, and I'm pretty sure they all have a Facebook also. We can point you in the direction if you want to follow anything specifically, but there's Cape Rail Ridge Riders, Broderdale Snowmobile Association, Manitoulin Snow Dusters, Espanola and District Snowmobile Club, Walden Snow Runners, Valley Trail Masters, Nickel Belt Snow Spirits, and Northbound Snow Drifters. Was that right, Joel? Did I get them all?
Yeah, I think so. Onaping Falls.
I think so. Onaping Falls. There, I left yours out. I was waiting for you to do it. Onaping Falls High Riders. So I think everybody's got a Facebook. Go and follow them too to stay updated on what's going on. So.
And you know what's amazing is you could have read that off and you didn't. That was all off the top of your head. I'm impressed.
Totally off the top of my head. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow.
So, like I said, if I did forget anybody, I apologize because that was totally right off the top of my head. I don't have a list prepared at all. So
Corey says, yes, great show. Glad to be able to hook you guys up. Love Sudbury Trails. Great work to everyone involved.
Thank
you. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys let us know when you're coming up next time because we'll definitely get out and go for a ride with you for sure.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely, you will. We'll definitely let you in on that. Remember, next Monday, if Gary says eyes, sexy, or bridge, we have to drink. It's trademarked by J Masser 850.
Oh, the game. Jeez. That sounds like a rough Monday night game.
It does, yeah. Great show. Love Suds. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so no, it's been an awesome show. Make sure you hook these guys up with on Facebook and stay up to date on things like that.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for everything you guys have done. Jay Masser says, "Night fellas, great show." Hit that like button on the video if you guys are still watching this show, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and make sure you watch Mike Gooley's and my channel for the additional Sudbury videos coming out. And and we'll keep you guys informed and away we go. But thank you for your time both tonight. Appreciate it.
No, thanks, Gary. The time flew here. I didn't even realize what time it was. And thank you all for everybody coming out and riding in the Sudbury area. And we look forward to having you all here again anytime. And fingers crossed we get a few more weeks to go here. So.
Oh, I think so. The way the forecast is looking, you guys are sitting pretty good. So,
I think we'll be good for a couple more to go for sure. So look forward to it. So
And for anybody watching, hit us up on the Facebook page if you want get a question, anything. We'd be happy to help.
Yeah, exactly. If you got any questions about coming up here or any areas to go to, you're either talking to Joel or I on Facebook. So we'll do the best we can to help you out. So get you the best trip we can get.
If you catch us on a good day, we'll take you out for a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, for sure. I just want to ride that old snow cruiser. You let me know when you find. I don't even need a pipe for it. We'll just make sure we'll stay out of the areas that are prone to be shut down.
I got the lake and 100 acres on the other side of the road. We're good to go, Gary.
And some earplugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
On that note, really appreciate it, guys. Keep the love going, keep the good trails going, and we'll see you guys the next time around.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Sounds awesome. Thanks, Gary.
Cheers.
It's a journey for life, and I'm yours.